Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
The media contingent is expanding
Huge.
rapidly.
Really?
Like
So I was going to say, are these people you don't know?
Yes,
Where are they
personnel. You got me.
They have this new thing in the NFL where you have to look at something. It's biometric and it scans your face. You
People
know?
try to use the face scanner that might be not. Yeah, and they're like, "Where do I put my face?" I'm like, "Just stand in front of it. Like it's not that hard." Like,
It works
Ever
instantly
notice how
for
many
me.
times a show he makes fun of me?
might have been a certain someone in
but-
PR.
When they, you know what?
too.
You
They were
can
great
blame
then.
9/11 for all of this. This is when it started.
Yeah, 9/11 happened, and then 30 years later, we decided to have facial
No,
recognition.
but we'll see what happens. We'll get Evan's picks post-mortem.
Make sure he puts him in before the Thursday night game as well.
Oh, has he done? Has he tried that?
No.
I'm not-
He sends them to me. Do not call into question the integrity of the picks
Want to be the best, you got to beat the best, Paul.
Yeah.
Right? You can't be losing.
at all.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Tuesday here at Gillette Stadium, and they're becoming Victory Tuesdays more and more. 4 in a row, baby.
Getting
5
sick of
and
it
2.
yet, Deuce? Getting sick of it yet?
It's getting close.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sick of the
Getting
12 win
tired of
seasons.
it.
I want to get back to 13 win seasons. All right, we don't know more of this 12 win stuff. Let's get to 13.
On top of the AFC East, second best record in the AFC. Patriots, let's go, baby.
You had a fresh cut there, Freddie?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, GL Barber down here in Foxborough.
4-game winning streak.
Yeah.
We get fresh
My guy.
cuts. Look at
Yeah.
everything's coming up,
one
Fred.
Too. I got a haircut.
I didn't
too.
notice.
we didn't
I
notice.
didn't notice yours, Mike.
Evan's going there. I heard Vrabel's been in there.
I
really?
might have heard that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, might have heard that from a little birdie too. But
Yeah.
Go in there and ask for the Vrabel. Just give me the Vrabel.
Yeah, GL Barber down in Foxborough. Good,
Did they know who you were? Right. They know who Evan is. They give Evan deals.
Oh, they know. They know.
They know. They
Yeah.
knew who you were.
Yeah.
Oh, they knew.
Yeah.
The boss man is here.
He said, "How's my friend Evan?"
Oh,
I know
all right,
he's
that's-
probably like it's been like 3
Yeah.
or 4 weeks. Where is he? You know. So yeah.
Getting
I
a
said
little-
he's
getting a
doing
little
good.
ragged
I
there.
said he's working hard. Working hard.
No time
Oh,
for
thank you.
haircuts. 3 road games in a row.
Yep.
Hard to get over there.
So, but enough of the barber shop talk. Let's go to the Patriots. We need to talk about this game and what we learned, what we should be excited about. Yes, what are the things that could hurt them down the road? You know, we talk about it all here.
Yep.
We talk about it all. But the first things first, Drake freaking May.
Yeah.
Drake freaking May. What did he have? 90% completion rate in this game?
91
This is insane.
Yeah.
Can I have a little aside?
Has the league ever seen this before?
I have a question for Evan.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Paul.
I saw on one of your sites that was tweeted out yesterday. So it was, what was it, 91?
Nerd sites.
91 something?
91 something.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had 2 incomplete passes.
Right.
did.
Right. One of your sites has expected completion percentage or something.
CPOE.
Okay, it was actually higher than that. And I would like you, in my mind's eye, see, when you only have 2 incomplete passes, you can remember them.
Yep.
One of them he threw over Kyle Williams on the sideline.
Yeah.
Like just wasn't. I didn't really look right. I don't know if it was I didn't think it was a great route by Kyle Williams, but the ball was high, no chance.
Yep.
And the other one I think was a throwaway.
Oh, no, the other one he got hit off the edge, so it actually was under pressure. A quarterback hit, blitz off the edge to Hunter Henry over the middle of the field. That was there if there was no pressure. So
Okay, so that answers my question. That's how you get a higher expected completion percentage with, to me, like no chance to complete the 2 incomplete passes. Evidently, they thought he should have. I don't know. I don't get that whole expected thing. I'm not a big.
Well, even the throw to Kyle Williams.
we're
should that
4
have
minutes
been
into the show and we're
better throw?
already.
No, I wanted to know how.
4 minutes
I
in.
wanted to know how it,
Yeah,
how it worked.
yeah.
Like, I mean, again, when you complete over 90% of your passes, and there's only 2 incomplete passes,
Right.
like
Yeah.
I don't think he had any chance to complete the first one, to Kyle Williams, but evidently they did.
Why?
No, not the first one. But the second one was there. It just the pressure came off the edge and he was hit as he was throwing the football, so it went into the dirt instead of to the receiver. So maybe that's what it was. I'm not exactly sure. what the
Yeah, it
number
was like
is there.
95.5 or something like that was his. I'm curious sometimes how those numbers
Yeah.
are tabulated.
But this is astounding, the numbers that he's putting up. And he's not throwing it 30, 40 times a game. I get it. And he's not racking up over 300 yards.
But he also ain't checked down Charlie.
he's
No,
hitting-
well,
hitting
he's
the
not checked
bombs.
down. He's run Charlie.
Yeah.
He'll
So
take off.
that's why the completion percentage is as high as it is,
That's right.
because he's not throwing the ball away.
That's right.
Yeah. That's
Right.
what I noticed to me.
He's putting his life at risk.
When everybody's covered, those become, instead of sacks, or they become 4-yard
Well,
gains
they're
because he
either
rushed.
sacks or runs.
Yeah.
He got sacked 4
Yeah.
times and he ran like 8 times.
Yeah, and one of the sacks I think was at the line script. But like that's just where you start to see the benefit of having a mobile quarterback is there's nobody open right now. Like on handful of plays, there's nobody open. Tuck, run 4 or 5 yards, maybe more, maybe
I
a little
really
less.
am
but,
negative.
staying out of the negative plays.
I'm kind of a little bit on your side of the street on this one because
Throw it away.
not to the point that I'm trying to make here is that I think this team has a real chance to go to the playoffs. And so if we're really talking about how do they continue to improve, especially against the level of competition that they're playing against, he's going to complete a bunch of passes against the Titans. Like he just is. Like they're that good at this point. He's that good at this point. Some of the scrambles in this game, and he said it after the game as well, I didn't love all of the scramble decisions in this game. And though I think it gets exacerbated a little bit by the fact that he goes into briefly gets evaluated for a concussion. And you sit there and you say, well, do you really need that against the Tennessee Titans? Maybe in week 15 against the Bills with the division on the line, you see green grass and you take off and you try to get a first down with your legs or whatever. But I think that's something that Josh Allen has really learned.
Listen, I get it. I hear what people are saying. They want to preserve this guy. You have to be cautious. And when you do run, you have to protect yourself. He was a little bit,
Yeah, we talked about it on the post-game
Yeah.
show. It's just a fine line between,
but
getting down a little earlier too, maybe, and those couple yards,
Yeah, but-
avoiding
but-
that late contact.
But
as
I
well.
don't want him to stop running.
No, I want him to run
when he needs to.
Yeah.
Well,
Not every time that the play breaks down. Sometimes you're better off just throwing it away.
I
like
know.
first down, as an example. Just throw it away. Third and 8, it breaks down and you got to go get the first down. I don't think anybody has any problem with that.
Or just play quarterback. Like and look, we're saying this as a way of like, this is what's going to prevent them from winning a playoff game.
Right.
Not in a way of like,
we have a new show disclaimer.
Right.
It's
Making him
exactly what
awesomer.
Evan just said.
Right.
We're now evaluating this team in a whole different
Yeah.
light than what we've
Right.
done the last 2 years. It's now about, this is a playoff team. What are the things they need to do better
Yeah.
to be a quality playoff team?
Yeah.
Picking some nits.
what could possibly derail you on the way? It's a whole new disclaimer.
right. So he had a couple, like the red zone one, he rushed for 4 yards. He ran out of bounds on that one, but he's got Hunter Henry just like sitting right down on the goal line and he's open and he's right there for it. And he just runs. And I get it. Like I'm sitting there watching this on a computer screen. Like I'm not out there in a live pocket in the NFL feeling the pressure and feeling the rush and all those different types of things. But you would just like to see him just sit in the pocket and just make the throw. Or, there's another one where he ran for, tried to get out of the pocket and ends up getting tackled for like a short gain, where if he just comes off the front side of the progression and gets to the back side of the progression, he has Ramondre Stevenson on the little hitch just wide open on the back side of the progression, but he goes one read and then I'm off. I'm out of the pocket.
Yeah.
And those are just, again, nitpicks, but like,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're
I just want to keep the guy healthy.
Very, very much nitpick.
Yeah.
This guy's playing at an MVP level.
Right.
I'm sure they're going to go over the film and they're going to show him, you could have had this, you could have had
Mike
that.
talked about it a little bit yesterday.
And I hope he learns that. But until then, I still want him to trust his instincts.
So, and I
if
don't
his
want him to
inst-
stop running, Fred.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
It's almost like I'd rather have them lose because Drake May was being Drake May and he got hurt than lose because he's losing his instincts and still out there. So, I don't know.
When you say he got hurt, like that's the worst case scenario because he can sit in the pocket and dice teams up. So I don't like him getting hurt is exactly why I feel this way.
Sure, everybody
like,
does.
When he ran off the field on Sunday and he went in the medical tent, I was like, great. Like, here we go. And like that's the one thing that is going to derail him is
one thing
injuries.
he's got to learn is that he's got to build up his neck muscles. So when I wrestled, we did these things called neck bridges.
Can you go in the locker
and
room
I swear to
tomorrow and tell me about
God,
it?
I've fallen hard over time, even recently. Like I remember I was going down my wooden ramp on the tool shed and my legs came out. I hit my back so hard, my wife heard it from inside the house. I didn't hit my head though, because I have this instinct. I immediately bull my neck when I go down and my head doesn't flop around. You can teach that.
Yeah.
You can. You build up your neck muscle. You do your neck bridges.
I want to see Fred doing neck bridges in front of Drake's
Paul's
locker
looking at me
tomorrow.
like
we go
I'm
in the locker
insane.
room.
I
Come
just
with
think-
me. Fred's doing the.
Falling is like the same as getting hit on an NFL field.
Well,
None of these guys that get tackled on a regular basis in the NFL do neck bridges, I guess, because they all hit their head on the turf.
not all of them do.
They all do.
No, not all of them do.
Devin
Fortunately,
McCourty
on
did
this
some. He had a
particular
big neck.
case, when you hit your head on the turf, it doesn't automatically translate to a concussion, which evidently was the case this week for Drake May.
I know, but he got us up and he's shaking his
Oh no!
head.
Like Mike and I were like, "Oh, he's going to get."
Yeah.
We knew the independent spotter, if he was doing his job, was. I mean, how could you see that and not at least have him get checked?
Yeah.
Fortunately, he only missed a couple of plays.
I know my fellow wrestlers out there and people who have done their neck exercises over time will back me up. You can not eliminate it, but reduce it
Yeah,
somewhat.
and I don't want him to stop running because I think that's a big part of his game, and I think his athleticism and all that is a huge part of what he does. But I do think in the regular season, especially earlier in the season, when these games are not on the line, a little bit more judicious. Like Evan said, Josh Allen's done a good job. I think Mahomes has done. Mahomes started running a little bit more like last year because the offense needed him to run more.
Yeah.
But there was a time where he would be a whole different guy in the playoffs than he was in the regular season in
sure.
terms of his running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Drake freaking May, Kayshawn freaking Booty.
Yeah.
This guy, every week, whatever is thrown to him, he catches. And now it's like some of these catches aren't just your normal catches. Like that one, I thought for sure that was overthrown in the end
Snagged it.
zone.
Yeah.
And he just,
Fingertip.
unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, look, we could sit here and gush about like 10 different throws of Drake Mays in this game, and I think that's all well and good. The one to Booty's a great throw. The one to Hollins along the sideline's a great throw.
Dropped
the
it
other
right in
one
there.
to Booty is another great throw with pressure
the Diggs
in his
one on the
face. The Diggs
sideline.
one is in
The Diggs one on the sideline. Diggs, Hollins, and then the Booty touchdown.
Yeah.
Those three,
All over the place.
Mike and I talked about for like 10 minutes on the
Both
postgame
sidelines,
show.
down the field in the middle. I mean,
the one to Booty on the left sideline and off the screen is like, Will Campbell's right in his lap.
Oh,
So he's playing in a
Right.
phone booth and there's no pocket to step into. And the fact that he gets that ball there.
I thought Booty did a great job on that.
Yeah.
Because when that ball was thrown,
Yeah.
we were like, oh,
Yeah.
that was very Mac Jones-esque.
There's just not a lot of quarterbacks that have the arm strength to get the ball outside the numbers with pressure on their lap like that. And so when you have that ability, like it just opens the entire field. Like he can make it, it's cliche, but like he can literally make every single throw.
And the catch by Pop Douglas, how did he change his direction and able to reach out behind him to
He
make
saved
that
Evan
catch?
had a great rant about
Saved
that this morning.
himself. I mean, like those are the types of plays to me the last couple of years that's a drop, right? Like that's an incomplete pass. And then we get on the show and we have to talk about sitting versus zone versus breaking versus man and all this different type of stuff. But when you're rolling, he reaches back and makes a Spider-Man catch and somehow gets the ball, and he ran the wrong route, but he made it
Oh,
work.
you know that for sure?
Like 99.
I think it was zone. I mean, Mike and I talked about that in the postgame
So
show,
you're thinking
too.
he should have just sat there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, especially in that situation where it's like fourth down and just when you have that opening in the zone, like
Get there
just
and
get to
turn.
the sticks and
Yeah.
turn around. And he kind of continued to run that slant over the middle of the field. But, it's a great catch. And the fact that he made it again, I feel like is just indicative
And the
of
Austin Hooper catch?
when
The
you're
Austin
winning,
Hooper
you're
catch
winning.
was amazing.
Yeah.
Evan might as well be the offensive coordinator.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mac. You're dealing.
And congratulations
miss
for
you.
another four wins for you now. He's played well.
Max.
So,
Yeah, really well.
so there's a hell of a lot to be excited about with the Patriots.
So
Defense.
can we talk about
Yeah.
the game a little bit?
Yeah.
Like back with the Douglas play. Anybody anti going for that one? So fourth down. So
Can you set the situation for me?
recapping,
I need to remember
they had
that.
scored to close the first half to go up 17-13. They get the ball to start the second half. They're going to do the double score. They're obviously well within field goal range inside the red zone. And it's 4th and 3, I think.
Yep.
I thought an argument could be made, take the points, get the double score, now you're up a touchdown, and make a bad offense chase you a little bit. They went for it and got it, obviously, and it worked out even better because they got a 2-score lead. But I thought an argument could be made that was a little bit aggressive.
Well, it goes back a little bit to a couple games ago when they settled for the 3, kind of along your lines, where it just felt like we needed points.
I thought they needed points
it's
on that
interesting.
drive, that the 10 straight points would have allowed the game to have changed. Whereas they gave it a chance for one play. If the Titans can just make one play and not allow any points, the damage was kind of mitigated of the way that half ended.
Yeah.
But, I mean, fortunately, Douglas made a terrific catch.
Yep.
Adjustment to, his route. I said the same thing to Evan. I was like, I always ask Evan on Tuesdays when he comes in, curious your thoughts on, because I know he's breaking this stuff down, and that's Mike and I talked about that a little bit on the post game.
So what do we make of the defense with these slow starts by the defense, but then second half shutting teams down?
Well, see, and I did some. I won't jump into them yet. I did some nerd research, and I'm gonna be curious. I told Paul yesterday.
It's gonna blow your mind.
Curious of Evan's take on them. But I mean, the game changed with the 3 touchdown swing, so it wasn't like I didn't feel like they came out and just played great in the second half. It was like when they came out in the second half, all of a sudden they're sitting on. I mean, essentially with the chase on play, they've now got a 3 touchdown scoring streak, and the game just completely changed. And now Tennessee's really got a chase, and they can pull back a little bit, and I just think it gives them more freedom. So
the Patriots
I think the
offense,
score dictated
the
it.
Patriots
more
offense
than,
did
more
that,
than
yes.
an adjustment that the Patriots
and
made.
I liked
it's
what
like
Vrabel
old school
said.
Brady.
Like
Yeah.
it rang true to me what Vrabel said, where early on they were getting with some scheme stuff. The first or second play of the game where they motion a guy across and Tavai loses him and it's an easy completion to the flat. That rang true to me, that they're scheming up, coming into the game plan, and that's why teams are having success. Which leads me to the big question of how do you prepare to get schemed up out of the gate? Like, every team goes into a game saying, this is what this defense does. These are the plays that can put them in a tough position or, screw with their rules a little bit. How do you prepare for that? And maybe
it's not just us. A lot of teams get hit early when it's scripted
right,
up.
and that goes back
but it's starting to become a
But
trend now.
there are numbers. The Patriots are like the 3rd worst in the league on the first 2 drives of the game.
Yeah, and then they're like 8th the rest
and then
of the game.
I mean, the numbers across the board defensively are good.
They are, and that's what's so hard to when we get into this. Let's pick some nits and try to really break down what this defense really is.
I think there's combination of 2 things that you're seeing, and the first is in this particular game, the offense changed the game. They score at the end of the half, they score to start the second half, and then, now all of a sudden Tennessee can't do those little things. They can't run Pollard, they can't throw little balls. They got to try to score. And, obviously Cam Ward makes a huge mistake on the first play after that, and the game is completely over. So that was the first.
Did you nod?
Oh, I nodded in the first half.
Oh.
But I tell you, it's a whole new team,
nod.
Freddie.
Yes.
It's a whole new team.
Okay.
In terms of expectations. So I think the offense did that. But the other part is, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. That's as good as Tennessee can play offensively. They're not doing that to anybody else. No. Like, they can't. We said it, how many? 9 categories? They were 30th or lower. That's what they are. I think Cam Ward shows some potential. I think he made some good throws in the game. He got a little inaccurate at times, too. Obviously, you can't drop the ball. It's 2 weeks in a row. He just dropped the, so it's
small
like
hands.
You can say, chase on with the pressure. He did the same thing against the Raiders the week before. This is what Tennessee does. Yeah. 13 points for them that's not a bad day offensively for them. They're not good.
Yeah.
They're going to face another offense that's very similar this week. They're like 30th or worse in a lot of offensive categories too.
And that's kind of what scares me, is that you've had two, let's just call them 2 first-year quarterbacks, a rookie and a second-year guy starting for the first time in the last 2 weeks, completing passes at will.
Yeah, and Carolina goes right down the field early in the game. They had, I think, 6 drives that went into Patriots territory, but they only ended up with 14 points or whatever it was. That's what they are. They scored 13 and 1 this week. They're not good offensively.
Yeah.
So they're playing a lot of bad offenses too,
Yeah.
which I think has allowed them to get their bearings some point in the second quarter, third quarter, and they shut a team down because they just don't have
So-
the ability to score.
This linebacker they picked up on waivers yesterday, does that give you any indication of what they're thinking in terms of coverage, in the middle of the field or anything like that?
He's an edge.
He's an edge
He's
guy.
an edge guy.
Speaks
Yeah.
to the,
Mike, this is a Mike.
yeah,
okay.
This speaks to the edge depth.
Because he's like
and-
6'3", 240.
Yeah,
something
he's
like that.
an
a
edge
pass
rusher.
I mean,
Yeah,
he'll
outside
play off
linebacker.
the edge for them. To me, it speaks to the depth, and Harold Landry, Chase on, good players, solid. But after that, it's kind of a wash. I mean, you haven't seen Keon White really do anything. Anthony Jennings seems to have fallen out of the picture. Elijah Ponder's a special teamer. That's another position that razor thin depth, and I think they like this kid. He was in with Vrabel too, so we'll see if he plays anything more than special teams.
Yeah,
but
I
I
think
think there's a
special
chance he's your third backup. Maybe by the next few weeks that he's getting some snaps on defense.
Okay.
maybe.
I just wonder, and with the whole opening script, I had the numbers and after further review as well. Just first 3 drives versus the rest of the game, and this game was actually the 4th drive that Tennessee stopped scoring after. But anyways, he's not going to say this publicly because I don't think they would want to tip their hand, but it looks to me like they're kind of just playing their base scheme for the first 3 or 4 drives of the game. And I do wonder if there is some cat and mouse of let's just see what they're going to do against us and kind of let the game declare, and then we'll make a few adjustments and we'll figure it out defensively. And I understand that some people will be worried about that because if you play, again with Josh Allen or if Baltimore's healthy or even this Tampa offense coming up, you're worried that they're going to give up 17 points early and it's not going to stop, right? They're not going to be able to stem the tide. But I keep thinking that's going to happen. That one of these weeks, they'll give up 21 and they'll be down 21-3 because the offense doesn't hold its end of the bargain and the offense just keeps them in the game. They just keep scoring offensively. So I don't know if it's going to be able to come up and really bite them with the schedule that they're playing. Maybe eventually once we start to get some of these bigger games down the road, but is Cleveland going to do that to them?
But you got to figure Cleveland's going to put up more of a fight defensively
for sure.
against this offense.
They can't throw the ball
They
down
can't
the field.
score.
They can't score, no, but they're going to maybe keep themselves in the game.
You would think that if they get off to a good start offensively, they can play with a lead for a while.
Yeah.
Because Tennessee wasn't able to do that because they have a bad defense too.
Right.
And maybe Cleveland can get a stop or two to Evan's point, and all of a sudden it's 10-0
Right.
instead of 10-10, which
Yeah.
is
Or
what's
10-3.
been happening in these games.
Yeah.
The running game showed signs of life this week. Was it sort of a
Light
facade,
box- light
or
box.
is it for real?
I mean, Evan wrote the light box stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely took advantage of
Yeah,
that.
I mean that's all it is to me. This is all chess match stuff. Titans came out, they played 2 high safeties in the opening drive, and the Patriots ran it right down their throats. And this is what I've been talking about for a couple weeks now. As long as they can run the ball when the other teams are conceding the run, then I don't really care too much about their overall rushing production. I care about what they are situationally running the ball, and if the other team is literally saying you have to run the ball, can you run it? All these numbers that they have, and with the run game that are down near the bottom of the league, when teams are putting 7-8 guys in the box, it's going to be hard to grind out rushing yards. It's not impossible, but it's going to be hard. So as good as their offense is throwing the football, as long as they can run the ball when it's opportunistic for them to run the ball, and they can run it in short yardage and run it on the goal line and that type of thing, that's all they need to be able to get out of the running game. They don't need the running game to be the engine of the offense. They have Drake May to be the engine of the
Now,
offense.
what did you see in terms of Tennessee's adjustment after that?
Yeah, so
Did
that
they
was
stay
I think,
with the light boxes, or did
no,
they
and I
change?
think that was the most fascinating part was that in the first half they ran a lot of 2 high safety, and then in the second half they didn't run as much 2 high safety, and they started putting the extra defender in the box, and the Patriots killed them with a couple play actions against single high safeties. Matt Collins' 27-yard catch is just wide open over the middle of the field off a little play action. So that's it, right? If you can answer, you have an answer to problem solve what the defense is giving you. If they play single high, can you throw it? If they play 2 high, can you run it? and then you kind of get them in a blender there of like which one do you
So
pick
did they stay with the too high in the first half? Like,
for most of the first half.
so that to me is the best sign, is that you were able to throw the ball against the too high. And I can think of two of, Evan likes to call them the honey shots. The one the booty that he talked about that Drake had a guy in his lap.
Will.
And then the one to Matt Collins down the other sideline. Those are, I would think, it's tough on TV. I would think those are too high looks, because that's the shot that you have to hit. They're able to get the ball downfield against defenses that are supposed to be taking away the downfield stuff. I think that might be the best sign, because I could look at it very simplistically and stubbornly and say, yeah, you ran the ball right down the field in the first drive. What'd you end up with? 3. Because you got down there and got sacked. Yeah. It's hard to score that way. Once you get down there, it tightens up a little bit, and it's hard to just run it all the way in. But they responded by throwing the ball in the next drive, and they're getting touchdowns. And then obviously the 2-minute drill at the end. I mean, that was just.
Yeah, that was against quarters.
Three plays.
Yeah, so that was against quarters.
Joey
So that's,
Sly, right?
that's against too high. But
I mean, would it have mattered if it was the 35 instead of the 40?
Well, it wouldn't matter if he kicked it where it's supposed to be and they only returned it to the 20.
Well, I mean, that's true. Because no,
I think that was what they were trying to do.
Given what they have with the return situation, now you're right. I was just automatically assuming they get ball to the 30, 35-yard line like every other team does.
Right.
But you're right. They've been struggling in that since Gibson went out.
I think he's the best hole shot artist in the NFL. Like when they play cover 2 and he has those honey holes on the sideline, I think he throws that ball better than any quarterback in the league. I mean, it's just every week is just like I can rattle off like 6 of them.
It just seems like the confidence.
He's had a lot of them.
The confidence switch was just flipped with him. He just seems so much more confident out there.
Can't be rattled, and just the accuracy. I mean, the accuracy,
And
especially
just
downfield.
seeing post snap rotation too. Like they on the Hollins one, they run an inverted cover 2 where they flip the safety in the corner on that side of the field. So they kind of show something different pre-snap, and then it rotates post-snap, and he just sees it. He's looking right at the corner and seeing the corner drop into the deep part of the field, and just waits for Hollins to clear the underneath defender and rips it. And he throws that ball with the weight on the football to kind of like get it right into the honey hole. He throws it better than any guy I've seen in the league this year.
It's crazy.
It's great stuff.
Crazy. This is
Great
crazy.
stuff.
This is crazy.
After the game, they gave the game ball to Mike Vrabel. This team loves their coach.
Yeah, it's a great pick. Great pick we used there. Everybody, he's just Diggs grabbing him. I mean, it's good vibes, really good vibes, and it's all feeding into itself now. And like Evan said, now Pop Douglas is starting to make catches maybe he necessarily wouldn't feel. I mean, it's just, I said I think on the post-game show to Paul, like the last 2 years of 4 wins, you realize like each loss it gets a little worse. And now this year has been a reminder that like each win it gets a little better. You get a little more confidence. You see other players getting to step up and contribute and feel like they're part of it. And you just want to keep this momentum rolling. I don't know if they can. I mean, it's a long season. There's going to be a lot tougher challenges coming down. I don't know if a lot tougher, but it's tougher challenges coming down the pike that they're going to have to deal with. And but I'm at the point now where I'm talking myself into the Browns being pretty good. That's where I'm like, I don't know.
I think we should.
The Browns are not pretty good.
Their defense is number 1 in the league.
The defense is good.
Okay.
They're good.
So they're
2-5.
They have a superpower that can give you trouble.
If they get to 17 points, I'd be shocked. But the thing about you give credit, wherever you want to give credit for Drake May, give it to him. I think mostly, but Josh Vrabel, the culture change that has already happened with this team is like night and day from the last 2 years to now, and he did that in 7 weeks. Like he's been on the job for 10 months now. And the vibe and the culture is just a completely 180 from where it has been.
I would just
the
say
last
since
couple
week
years.
1.
Yeah, and that's like because a lot of people would respond, well, winning is cures all. But I think this goes back to Paul's point to training camp and even in the preseason. Like I felt a difference in like just guys want to be there. Like guys care, guys have energy, guys want to travel, they want to be on the road. I can't tell you how many times like over the last couple of years it felt like nobody wanted to go on this road trip, right? Like no one really is that interested in going to Vegas to play the Raiders across the country. Trent Brown. And now, like, all of a sudden you get into these locker rooms after the game and it's a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
And that's
You can
Vrabel.
see it, like Mike said on that shot, when Drake is giving Vrabel the ball and, Diggs is in the background. You see Pop Douglas in the background.
Schooler's
Hunter Henry's
pushing
jumping
him.
up and down.
Yeah.
Schooler comes in and, is hitting him. And I do think it's continued. Now, I don't know. I do think it's winning based, but, there's an argument to be made. Do you have good culture because you're winning, or you're winning because you have good culture? Like, I mean, you
feeds
can
into each other,
you
right?
can look
don't
at
know.
it either way, but
Yeah.
I do think it's kind of like it was a perfect storm of a start in terms of you played a lot of teams that are very, below average.
Yep.
And you were able to beat most of them. You lost one, to the Raiders.
Right.
But you were able to beat most of them, and that immediately gives you belief. Like, you might have had belief, and I agree with Evan because we talked about this all training camp. I think that they had a belief, but you get that validated when you win.
Yep.
You have the proof of concept. We can win if we do X, Y, and Z.
Right, you're getting the
and then they had the
results.
one game where they couldn't do X, Y, and Z against Pittsburgh, and they got to see we're capable of winning these games if we don't beat ourselves.
See, right? It was a good lesson.
It
was a good.
It was kind of like a perfect storm of a start to the
and
season
the
with schedule.
veterans that he brought in, Vrabel, in free agency, have really meshed with the holdovers, like the Hunter Henrys and the Pop Douglases that you mentioned. There isn't like, the guys that were here before and these are the new. No, they meshed immediately, and you got to give credit to Vrabel.
I give Diggs a lot of credit for that too, because he has been. And people on the field, people don't have a lot of bad things to say about Diggs in terms of his compete level and all that stuff. But I think he's been more of a leader.
Well, during the game, you see it
to the group, and obviously he's played like Diggs has always played. Like, I mean, he's a great player.
The pro,
but he is a pro.
He is.
In football wise, stuff that I used to tell Mike Dussault about when he used to mock and ridicule him.
Well, not that I had a 180, but we saw the player that ripped our hearts out. But to me, like you said, Paul, being in the locker room and now where he speaks every Wednesday, we're right next to him, hear everything he says. That to me has been just a huge factor too. When you start to talk about turning rooms around and giving Pop Douglas and Kayshon Boutte, and I'm not saying I want to give Diggs credit for how Boutte's playing now. I think he's been on that track, but he's really been a solidifying source for that room, and I think just gives them some leadership to kind of follow.
And in that room, like that position, I think it's hard. I asked Todd Downing this. I had a chance to talk to Todd Downing last week.
Did you?
Todd?
I asked Todd.
As did the rest of the media.
Correct. That was an ESPNism right there. I had a chance to talk to Todd Downing. Yeah, me and about 30 of my closest friends.
Yeah.
But I asked him how rare it is for that position, because he was talking a lot about these things that we're talking about. And it's Boutte getting, 2 passes thrown to him, but ready to go, and being just as excited that week as he was the previous week when he had 5 or 6 catches, or like opening week when he caught all those passes for 100 yards. And how rare is that? And he's like, yeah, no, it's not like that all the time. And I give Diggs a lot of credit for that, because he has been the guy that the negative reputation for him is that he's always wanting the ball. Give me the ball, throw me the ball. I'm not getting enough touches. Even when Josh Allen's targeting him 130 times a year, he's not satisfied. I haven't seen any of that so far. Now, he's getting the lion's share of the targets. But as I just mentioned, that's been the case in the past, and he's still not always been happy.
Right.
He certainly looks happy now. The message in the locker room last week was, don't drink, don't take the Titans lightly. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. What is Diggs saying on Wednesday when he's talking to Evan and Mike? Don't drink the Kool-Aid. He's the guy that's delivering the coach's message just like everybody else. So I think he's been really, really a good fit for those guys.
He really has.
Those young
A
receivers.
selfish position that on this team is selfless. Like, they do not act like receivers, but they don't act like receivers. Like, they're not, no one's pouting in the corner that they're not getting targets. Nobody's complaining about things anymore.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And like Pop Douglas is another perfect example of a guy that really has had his role reduced significantly compared to what we thought he would do this season. But when they needed him and when he's called upon, and his energy is still great.
He's focused.
Yeah,
he's
we
alert.
had the win cam of him coming off the field, and he's still just as happy as he would have been if he had 10 catches in the game. And like, That's hard to find in that position in particular. That's
Yeah,
really
guys
hard.
are putting team first. And, another coach who always emphasized that, we have to mention Bill Belichick, one of the people up for the Hall of Fame this year. He's on the list.
Good call.
I would assume that he's going to get in. That's just my take, but I don't know. Some of these
know.
Yeah,
some
Mike
of these
Shanahan,
writers can.
I think there's some good coaches on this list.
yeah, but they're not as good as Bill Belichick.
I mean,
Not even close.
Agree to disagree.
Really? Who on the list should be in before him?
Should be is a strong word.
Yes.
Could be.
Oh, anything can happen with these writers.
I'm not
but-
talking about like they're going to do something that you think is wrong. I'm talking about.
Well, if they don't
look
put
at
him
it
in right
different
away,
than
that'll
you.
be wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So then there's no sense of talking about it.
Well, that's my opinion. You go
No,
ahead.
No, but that's fine.
Do you want me to read the 12 coaches?
you got
I
him
think
right.
Shanahan,
I was trying to
Holmgren,
pull it
these
up.
guys have
They're good.
Dan Reeves. These guys have brought multiple teams to Super Bowls
Okay.
without Tom Brady.
But you're saying they should be ahead of Bill Belichick?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
That's
saying
all I'm
that.
saying.
But you're saying it like it's a foregone conclusion. I don't think it is that. That's all.
I'm saying what it should be.
Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
why should we argue? Like there's no other side of it, according to you. So
Why
like,
does he do this? Why can't I?
I think that Bill Belichick's a Hall of Famer,
Okay.
certainly. But I don't just dismiss everybody else.
But I'm not just. I think maybe their time will come, but there should be an order here.
So I think that his time might be the one that's coming because this list, to Paul's point, and a lot of these guys have already been on this list for a couple of years now and been
Right.
sort of waiting their turn, like a Mike Shanahan. So Bill Arsenberger, who I've never heard
Arnsparger.
of, Tom
Arsenberger.
Bill Arnsparger. He was a long time
Whatever that name
defensive
is.
coordinator. I don't think he's.
No.
Yeah, he's not.
Doesn't
he's
have-
not on the
doesn't have the
level of
chops.
these other guys.
Tom Coughlin,
Tom Coughlin's another one.
Alex Gibbs,
But ahead of Bill?
Beat him twice.
All right, but still.
Eli Manning.
Mike Holmgren, Chuck Knox, Buddy Parker, who's kind of a legend, Dan Reeves, Marty Schottenheimer, George Seifert. Come on, please.
George Seifert doesn't belong on that list.
Mike Shanahan, and Clark Shaughnessy. So
Bill would take Shaughnessy.
Clark Shaughnessy.
I'm obviously in agreement with you, Fred, but
I think
some of
that
these guys
Bill-
have waited their turn already.
Sure.
So
and
is
they
it-
might have to still wait.
But we're not talking about Bill's like worthiness like that. I don't think there's an argument against Bill's
No,
worthiness
I'm
for the Hall of
stacking
Fame.
him up against the people on
I
this
have to learn
list.
Bill
Yeah, I mean,
Arnsberger.
But I think
Yeah,
that there's
sure.
3 or
Okay.
4
Sorry,
guys:
Bill Arnsberger.
Reeves, Shanahan, Holmgren.
All good coaches.
all great coaches.
Coughlin.
who brought Coughlin, who brought multiple teams to Super Bowls, built different programs. I don't know how you can look at what happened in the last 5 years
Yeah.
and not look at Bill a little bit differently.
All these guys had bad years.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
Without Tom Brady is what I meant.
Sure.
I don't know how you cannot look at it a little differently. If we're just going to say 6 titles, then why are we even talking?
Right. That's
Like
all I'm
if you're
saying.
not going to actually analyze how they got there,
Okay.
that's all I'm saying.
All right.
Is
There's
Tom
pictures
is
in
is
black
Bill
and white,
Belichick
so.
is Bill Belichick a Hall of Fame coach? No
course.
brainer. There's no argument against that.
Does his defensive coordinator stuff get taken into consideration?
Yes.
I mean, that adds to his resume.
It's all
right?
part of the resume.
The unfortunate part
So
is though,
does Mike Shanahan's ability to have half the successful offenses in
Yes.
football running his system,
Sure.
does that count?
That's why he's on the list.
No, it's
No,
not why
it's
he's on the list.
He won 2 Super Bowls.
Okay.
Just like,
But it's
John
it's a
Elway.
big-
Addition. It's part of his legacy.
but it's a big feather in his cap.
Absolutely.
His
It all
son-
counts.
yeah. Now I would
McVay,
Belichick would be my guy.
Before-
Alice Gibbs, right?
Belichick would be
Gibbs
if,
another
on that
great one.
list. My number one choice for this year would be Bill Belichick. I just think that it's worthy of a discussion, like
Yeah.
not a dismissal.
Well, I mean, the unfortunate part is that this is going to be chosen by a committee, and you wonder if these select members of the committee had bad feelings towards Bill. Like, if personal
Well,
feelings,
that's
come
always
into
a
being
factor.
involved, too,
you never know.
I just think that you can make a football discussion why Shanahan or Holmgren or Coughlin or Reeves should go first. Without it being like a petty, we don't like Bill-ism.
I don't
Like,
know.
I don't-
That's a tough argument.
I would make the Belichick argument, but I don't really understand why
But you're only
we can't talk
you're
about
only,
some other guys.
because your only default of that argument is that the with Brady, without Brady split.
But that's big.
Okay, but you're
all
taking
those guys had quarterbacks too. Right?
yeah, and you're just taking out of account like the beginning
Which
part
one?
of it.
Matt Hasselbeck that Mike Holmgren took to the Super Bowl?
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
But he did it without Brett Favre, is my point. Bill didn't. He went to a Super Bowl without Brett Favre.
Oh, he never had Brett Favre. I know, I'm only kidding. Bill, never mind.
But every one of these guys, a lot of their success, maybe not all of it, but is kind of.
I mean,
around
Tom
one quarterback,
Coughlin
right?
beat him twice with Eli Manning, who you guys all think sucks.
No, he
Should
does.
Eli
He's
Manning be over Tom Brady?
He's the exception.
Of course not.
Of course not. Just because he beat him twice doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't mean anything.
You just said, of course not.
No, you asked me would I take Eli Manning over Brady.
Right,
I
and
would
you
say
said,
of course not.
not.
But it means something that he won twice.
Right, but not enough to put him over Tom Brady.
No, because Tom Brady won 7.
And the fact that Tom Coughlin beat Bill twice doesn't put him over Bill. Listen,
He
I
only
think-
had 2 chances.
I like Tom Coughlin, and not just for the stuff
Tom
he did with the
Coughlin to me
Giants.
is a no-brainer
He built up
Hall of
He
Famer.
built up a new franchise
Again,
and
with Mark
immediately
Brunell.
he immediately took them to the AFC Championship.
Again,
yeah.
more success without Tom Brady.
I just think that, if I was making the pitch for Bill, because let's face it, it will be a crappy pitch, what it is. But if I was making the pitch for Bill, like, you can't just ignore the fact that until Brady truly became an MVP candidate year in and year out, that those early teams were built on defense and game planning and Bill's side of things.
Agree to disagree with that, too.
The 2001 Patriots were not built on
2001 is the one. That's it.
okay.
03 and 04 were wagon. 04 was the best team the Patriots have ever had.
They were wagons, but to just discount everything that Bill did to set that up and not to mention
I don't discount
all.
it. That's he's a Hall of Famer. I'm not discounting a Hall of Famer.
Okay, but I'm just saying, not to mention the things that Brady gives him credit for in terms of Brady's individual development, with teaching him how to read defenses and teaching him all the nuances of the position and not just having him go out there and run around and play quarterback. Like, those types of things are that's
Listen,
more of
he
the legacy
should be in the
of Bill.
Hall of Fame, and anyone who
Yes.
doesn't believe that doesn't know football.
And I would agree with you.
I just think
on
the
that.
only reasons to keep him out over these guys that are on this list are pettiness or the fact that they've been on the list for longer than he has.
Yeah.
Like, it's those two things. It's not resume. Like, you can't,
No, I mean he has 6 and they only have 2 in most cases. So resume it's a no-brainer. I would like to think that these guys do more than just look at like who had the most win. Like, does Marty Schottenheimer go in because he has more wins than everybody
he shouldn't
else?
even be on the
No.
list.
No, well, he should be on the list.
Why?
But because he was one of the best coaches of all time.
I don't think
Is he
so.
on the level of those other guys that won? No.
Like, how down low do we have to go?
If
If
you were hiring a head coach and you got him in his prime, not this version of Bill Belichick, but Bill Belichick in his prime versus Shanahan in his prime versus Holmgren versus Coughlin, all 32 teams are hiring Bill Belichick in his prime.
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. Like,
I don't know about
what
that.
Do you, that's crazy.
Shanahan killed Belichick head to head.
Okay.
he did, he had his number.
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't know. Like, I would pick Belichick. That's my choice. I just would like to think that these voters actually analyze it and don't just say, well, he has 6 titles, so he's better.
I think Bill's mistake is he didn't retire. I think 10 years from now, there's going to be a coach when asked, hey, when are you leaving? He's going to say, well, I'm not going to coach into my 70s like Bill Belichick.
So
That's the problem.
I agree with that whole sentiment that you're going down, because if he had retired when Tom left, you wouldn't have this
right.
so blatantly obvious sample size without
Right.
Brady.
Right.
Like, you could say it took him a while, this first time around, he learned like a lot of guys learn, and the second time he was a much better coach.
Cleveland, right.
But now you have before and after.
Right.
Big samples of before and after.
Yeah.
I would like to think that guys actually analyze that
Yep.
and use that. Now, would I take Belichick? Yes.
Yeah.
I would. Belichick would be on that list. He would be my top choice. But the other thing about it is, even if he ends up being the finalist, it doesn't mean he's in.
No, that's right.
That he would just be the coach's nominee.
Right.
I mean, the one guy that's the finalist, and then it goes down to the regular Hall of Fame committee to vote for it. And Fred, we're not on that, you and I.
No, we're not on that
We're on
committee.
some Hall of
Why
Fame
not?
committees.
Yeah, I don't know why not. I don't know why
Sounds
not.
ridiculous to me.
I think it's going to be tougher for Bill than it should be because of all the reasons that he's brought
I hope
up.
it's not because of him being such a, let's face it, jerk.
That is what it is.
I hope that's
though.
not why,
It
because
is-
that shouldn't come
because-
into play.
But picking at all the nitpicks of his legacy, you don't do that if you like the guy. You're only doing that because you think he's a jerk. Like if we
Well,
give
you should. You should analyze the guy's performance. It shouldn't just
I'm
be
sorry,
because
they're
I don't
not
like
going-
him.
They're not going to sit there and if you had a guy, I don't know how the media felt about all these guys, but if you had a guy that is beloved in universe, Andy Reid,
Yeah.
nobody is going to sit there in 10 years and start nitpicking Andy Reid's legacy to this
But
degree.
to Paul's point, they should.
They might.
I would say,
they
what should
probably
be in there?
but they won't.
Took him 20 years to figure out how to run the clock. That should be that's coaching. That should be part of the
won't
analysis
be.
for Andy Reid.
It won't be.
Well, it won't be
because he's well liked.
Because these things are going to outweigh that.
Yeah.
But that should be all part of the equation.
Yeah.
I think it won't because he's well
All right. A lot of emails, a lot of calls. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast at Patriots.com. I think it's a good time to take a break, right? Because my food just got here.
Well, that's fine with me. We
Yeah.
got to make sure that the Marine is ready to
Yeah,
go.
no, I'm I'll give him a chance to get back in there. But we do have a lot of emails. I'm looking at some of the subject lines. Some look intriguing, but you can never tell. They try to fool me sometimes. And we got
Fred will never read this, but
yeah. Paul needs to blank, But we'll get to those right after this. Lots more coming up on Patriots Unfiltered. Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/one-rate for details. Exclusions apply.
Wanna play the game, boy? You gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
It's a light crowd today. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Okay, who's leading us off?
Got a text from Karen.
Okay, good. What is it?
She asks, quote, "Does it make you feel good to hear so many players talk about still having so much to fix and get right after the game?"
I think so. I think that just the awareness and the ability and the desire to want to improve in this league as we go along, whether we win or we lose, we have to strive for that. It's an improvement league. We've talked about getting better as we go along, and there's glimpses of it. And we just need to be a little bit more consistent and continue to build.
Speaking of improvement, where did you see the ground game start to take some strides in terms of a positive principle?
I thought we were more decisive. I thought we gave them a chance early at the line of scrimmage to be able to get into the line of scrimmage, to be able to, make some breaks and give them some space. there's a lot there to continue to improve on. If you want to hit some big ones, you're going to have to be able to block support players. You're going to have to be able to block safeties, block force. But I thought we got them through the line of scrimmage at times. I thought we were decisive. There were times where there wasn't anything there, and we got a couple yards. And then there were times where there was things there, and we got double-digit runs.
After the game, Pop said this is the first time that he's been on a team where he feels like the offense and defense are personally close. How's that something that you feel like you can kind of foster as a coaching staff?
We're a team. Everybody's here trying to do the same thing as just win. Whether that's the coaching staff, the sports staff, trainers, the players. We're a team. We spend a lot of time together. So, they practice against each other. They compete against each other, and so hopefully they can continue to build those connections that it's going to help them on the field, help them off the field, help them hold each other accountable, and celebrate our success together.
Mike, I know he's cleared in the game. Sometimes concussion symptoms can surface the next day. Is Drake in any kind of protocol today?
Not that I'm aware of.
On Drake, he gives you that the game ball, and it seems like obviously these players really want to play for you, and that showed yesterday with the locker room video. How do you garner that support from the team? What is kind of your, process in that?
My job is to provide them with things that'll help them do their job, that help them in their career, to help them help the team, and that's what we're trying to do. Try to be as authentic as I can. I try to be honest and try to get to know them, understand what they're going through on and off the field, and try to help them. That's it.
Coach, we got Cleveland coming up here. You spent some time with the Browns. What did that year do for your career? What did you learn?
Well, I enjoyed that time. I enjoyed the people there, that organization. I enjoyed working with Kevin and the offensive staff and Tommy Reese and Chad, and I played with Bubba, so a lot of good young coaches. Jim Schwartz, I had a really good relationship with Schwartzy, and they're playing really well. They're coming off a huge win, a great defense. Offense is physical line. Running backs doing a nice job. So, we're going to have get prepared as soon as we've shut the door here with the Titans and moving on to the Browns.
There's always a lot of techniques and things you can pick up on a micro level. Anything broader there that Kevin and Andrew were doing on a kind of thematic big level that you've taken has changed how you do things?
No, I have great communication, and I didn't try to get involved in the day-to-day operations. I was trying to help the players. I was trying to help the young coaches. That wasn't something that I got involved with. I tried to help with player development, but they have a great organization. As far as the structure and everything. So, but I try to be involved with the young coaches and with the young players and help them in practice and help them develop.
Did you place as much emphasis on analytics before Cleveland, or was there anything about that stuff that maybe changed your perspective on it?
That's certainly something that they believe strongly in. It probably, we were getting involved with it in Tennessee, probably not to the extent that Cleveland has. We've added, and I feel like we all do, that can help us at a coaching level and also help us as we look at personnel. So we'll continue to try to enhance that department and area and how they can help us, looking at what we do internally, but also externally as we look at players and acquiring players, and but probably won't get to that extent of where they're at right now overnight.
Coach, 4-0 on the road, but 1-2 at home so far. You were here when this place was a hard place to play for a lot of opponents. How important is it to get back to that with 5 of the next 7, I think, at home?
Well, we're going to focus on the next one, not 5 of the next 7, but certainly have appreciated the way that we've played on the road. And we know how important the home games are. You have to hold serve, and you have to be great at home and use that to an advantage, to where it's hard to operate, and we're giving them reasons to cheer and celebrate and be excited. And so those are things that are important to us. And so hopefully we'll give them that product this weekend.
How big of a part is player development of what you do, and how much do you enjoy it?
Well, I do enjoy it. Outside of winning, I've said this numerous times, outside of winning, I enjoy watching players improve. I enjoy watching them put a lot of work into it, and then having the success and seeing it at practice, and then getting the opportunities in the game and watching that translate. So that's something that we believe in. No one is a finished product when they get here. Whatever age you are or wherever you started or you came here, there's always some things that you can continue to improve on. And then we have another bucket of young players or developmental players that's critical that we do that.
Obviously, your reminder played really well, playing the bulk of the snaps. Behind him, Travion just had 9. What was the thinking there as far as that split being best for the offense this week?
Well, just kind of how it played out. I thought, Ramondre was running well and, had some good protections, and Travion's going to be a large part of what we do. I just think that the way that the game started and the success that we had, that's kind of where it was this week.
What did you see as the biggest difference in the defense's performance after the first quarter? It seemed like you guys really tightened up.
Well, we just didn't do a very good job of matching their script and their scheme plays, and we got to do a better job of being ready to go with some plays that maybe they've seen on tape or that are new, and using our fundamentals, and but got beat on the script in their first plays, and we'll have to do a better job.
How much did Mike McCoy have that was new for you?
Well, every week there's something new. Every week there's something new. He talked about throwing the throwback, off the boot, off the keeper. So, they've had that in, and just like everybody else, they'll see stuff on tape and, try to dial it up or try to do something. That's what this league's about.
Okay, Sean, with another X-play yesterday, we're obviously seeing the growth on the field, but how have you seen him mature behind the scenes since you got here?
I think he communicates better. I think he's better a communicator, whether that's, anything that he has to deal with outside of work or, outside of football, family, or just talking in the building. I think that's improved, is just his communication. He's pretty personal.
And now, great moments in history.
And I remember one game, our other editor, Brian Morey, was out for some reason or something. Paul had to do everything himself.
I don't think he was out. He was writing a book.
Oh. And,
I was frazzled that
as
week.
the night progressed, a different article of clothing would come off. By the end of the night,
he's totally right.
Paul's in his undershirt. I swear to God, he's sweating. He's
a tie wrapped around his head.
He's just trying to get everything done. It was
thanks a lot, Brian.
Fred exaggerates a lot of things about me. He is not exaggerating.
He's in his boxers
1 ounce
and his
of this
underwear.
story.
Man. Oh, my God.
That's another great moment from
All right, back here on Patriots Unfiltered, 855-PASS-500 is the hotline. Podcast@patriots.com is the email address. Of course, we're talking about the game on Sunday against the Titans and a little bit about Bill Belichick getting on the Hall of Fame list. It's Evan, Paul, myself, Deuce, Alex, and Matt in the booth. Interesting email here. There's a lot of good ones coming in. I appreciate that, everyone. Who's this? This is Tom. He's in Edinburgh, Scotland. Firstly, good win. Thought we played really well, and my hopes for the team are improving each week with my floor slowly getting to be the playoffs. Now my beef, Mike Dussault.
Yeah, Mike.
Last week, you complained about Booty being one of those receivers that just runs, catches, and falls down. Has this game changed your opinion? Why do you hate competent, reliable players who will run go routes all day and not complain? They catch the ball when called upon. It's very similar to your Dorsett hatred, which was also uncalled for. I'm sorry that you don't like people catching passes and helping the team.
Yeah, Deuce.
He's fine. He's fine. I said he's done a good job.
Did you say that last week? He just catches the ball and falls down?
No, but I get what he's getting at, and I don't think he's wrong. I just think we talk about this. That's the spot he's playing. Did he catch the ball and run through a bunch of people? No, it's not really his game. I get it. It's fine. He's a good complementary outside piece, but I don't know. People are like, this is the matchup that's going to tear teams apart for the next decade. I'm like, is it though? Like, I mean, to be honest, like,
Can't there be something in the middle of those two things?
I don't know. I mean, I still see Booty as a piece that if you get that big dog that some people are still clamoring for, like, that's the spot you're going to put him in, right? You're going to put him over Booty.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I mean,
you want to go get T. Higgins? Guess where T. Higgins playing? Bye, Booty.
Yeah, it's interesting though, like, you know, because I know we always talk about this with Brady, like. This is all the same receivers besides Diggs, basically, right? And like Drake's just making them look like world beaters, and it's incredible, like how really good quarterback play can all of a sudden now, you know, Kayshon Boutte is not just a competent receiver, but a good deep ball receiver, and you know, Pop Douglas makes plays, Mac Hollins is making plays, Diggs is making plays, Austin Hooper's making plays, and it's just. And all goes back to the quarterback.
Philip Dorsett.
Wei from Beijing, China, writing in.
Nice.
Says Paul needs to get his stats sources straight.
Yep, Paul.
I was listening to the show at midnight, but just a couple minutes in, Paul mentioned something incorrect. Huh? The expected completion percentage for May in this game was 67%. According to both Next Gen Stats and RBSDM.com.
So I was referencing...
RBs don't matter.
RBs don't matter?
Yeah. Running backs don't matter.
I did
RBSDM.
I'm not telling you the stat was correct.
Is that really what
I'm telling you I did not get it incorrect. It was on Twitter that someone had week by week Drake May's expected completion percentage. Now maybe these sites had a different number, which is why I don't really put much validity into an expected thing, because that's a totally subjective measure.
Well, it's an equation, it's a formula. But I think what he's saying is that his expected completion percentage was X and his actual completion percentage was Y. So therefore, it would be better than his expected completions percentage might have been 70%. His actual completion percentage was 91%.
And this is why I said I may be getting it wrong.
Yes, that's what I kind of.
How could you get it wrong, Paul? It's not that complicated.
I'm telling you, the number I saw was 95.5.
That's kind of what I thought you were maybe getting wrong earlier, but I wasn't sure, and so I was just.
Well, that's not. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah. It's like, I love it. I just like being like, Drake May's playing awesome right now. Like, you see all this like statistical minutia of like, well, he's the first guy to ever complete this many passes. It's like, that's all great. And like, you can cut it any different way you want.
I care about that.
He's playing awesome.
I care about him throwing the ball down the field, and it's basically a 35-yard handoff to the guy catching it. Like, you can't possibly not catch the passes that he's throwing. You know, I'm not telling you everyone is like, I mean, the Austin Hooper catch was sick.
Yeah.
That was a great catch.
Yeah.
But like the ball to Hollins down the sideline, to Diggs in the second half down the side, like you can't throw those any better.
Right.
I'm not a big CPOE guy. I think it's a useful stat sometimes from a standpoint of like when you get the expected completion number, like you can tell how easy or hard the throws that he's making are, because they base it off of windows. Like, is it a tight window or is it an open window? So like if you're making a lot of open window throws, then your expected completion percentage is going to be much higher than somebody that is being forced to make a lot of tight windows.
In that case, Josh Allen would be skewed because all his throws are through a closing window.
Oh.
Very good.
But back to the Josh Allen game.
I didn't know where he was going with that.
That was that
took
that
a little
play,
longer.
Yeah, it was a long road to grandma's as usual. The throw to Diggs in the Buffalo game down the sideline. I saw all a bunch of Evans, acolytes talking about how it had such a minuscule chance of being completed. Like, I don't that doesn't mean anything to me. I can look and watch and say, wow, that was really good. Cam Ward had one that I'll bet you.
Number to everything.
Cam Ward had one in the game that there was like 3 layers coming across. It would be one of those, it was a great throw, don't ever do it again kind of plays, but like it was incredible in the first half, the throw that he made. I'll bet you the CPOE or whatever it's called wasn't great on that throw either.
It's funny about
that play. When you have a snoring problem and you have to throw the
whatever you're talking about.
I
like
understand
a tight window as opposed, the throw wasn't expected to be completed.
So
because the window was so tight, the throw had to be precise.
Just to close the loop here, Drake May's expected completion percentage on Sunday was 66.9, and his actual completion percentage was 91.3. So therefore, his CPOE is plus 24% because you take the expected and the actual
highest ever.
So I wish I
one
could
of the
find,
highest in the
because
season,
like
yeah.
I said, I'm sure that I'm messing up this specific stat. The email is probably right about that. I saw something that listed it was higher than his actual completion percentage should have been 95.5, and I just don't.
Can I just stick on this, because I want to just talk about that play real quick, because this is another thing for me statistically. Maybe Evan can chime in. Like, I watched that play, which was completed basically with like Spillane diving, Tavai like turning, and like Gonzalez kind of running by it, and I believe they like credit that Gonzalez as like a pass completion, and that just made me pull the thread of like, Gonzalez, like on some of these plays, it's so hard to assign blame, even, and I know I'm not trying to get into the PFF thing of it all, but just for anybody watching, like, how do you, like, it's a great play by them.
There's
a million, the coverage.
I mean,
there's a million of those. I mean, like the touchdown to DK in the first half of that game, you could look and say, wow, Marcus Jones really struggling. He's chasing them all across the field. But then you can see the safety did, I think it was Woodson, the exact opposite thing that he should have, and ended up getting spun around. And it's clear that Marcus Jones thinks he has support from the other side. Yeah, and maybe Marcus Jones didn't have great coverage. I'm not trying to absolve my man crush, Marcus Jones.
1-for-1 completion on this guy, his fault.
There's so much nuance to coverage, especially in a game like this. Ev, do you have numbers like how much zone they played in this game?
Yeah, but it's just not this complicated. Like. On the throw that you guys are talking about to Cam Ward, it's covered 2. Robert Spillane's got the deep hole. Like, that's his assignment on that play. On the throw you're talking about, I'm with you. I put that one on Craig Woodson because Marcus Jones is sticking outside leverage on DK. He's responsible for a corner, right? Because he's outside hip of the receiver. When the receiver breaks on the post, there's a post safety. He's literally called the post safety. It's his
pretty much what the Saints did the week before.
It's the exact same thing.
Demario Douglas.
It's literally the same exact play and the same exact result. And so in both plays, like, the safety has got to stay home on the post. There's no reason.
Yeah, because Jones definitely moved inside because he thought something was happening behind him, and it didn't, and then he took off.
There's no reason for the safety to bite on the corner because that's Marcus Jones's responsibility. So as the quarterback is rolling out and he's throwing back, from right to left, safety's got to just stay right in the deep middle of the field. I think a lot of the problem that some of these coverage metrics get confused is some of them, like Next Gen, are using proximity to the receiver. They're not talking about understanding it's cover 2 and this is the zone, and they're using who is the closest physical person
which is not
to the
fair.
receiver.
It's
right.
Gino writes in, I wrestled throughout high school and college. Yes, I've long since thought certain NFL positions could benefit measurably from wrestling techniques. Thank you. Much like receivers might benefit from ballet. As a quarterback, you're going to be tackled, therefore prepare for the inevitable. Learning to go down is one of the first things you pick up as a wrestler, not only neck bridges, but how to roll into a fall, then to twist, when to use an empty hand, how to absorb the weight instead of using a stiff arm. If you curl your back, then let it unfurl on impact. It reduces the velocity of your head moving towards the ground. Some people do it instinctually, but our guy needs a little mat time.
But what was that?
I agree.
Brady was really Brady was a big proponent of that, learning how to fall.
It's true.
Remember, he used to talk about Garoppolo.
That's one of the first things they teach you in judo and all those things, how to fall.
Didn't Tua try to learn how to fall? I believe it was Tua. He went in the off season. That's all he did all off season was work
Falling
with
down.
one of those martial arts people or something and learn how to fall.
Roll.
Yeah, so he doesn't hit his head.
Telling you.
How's that working out?
Fred,
we can do it. He can run to his heart's delight if he learns how to fall.
I just think that there are times that you're going to get hit when you don't know you're going to get hit.
I know.
And you're making it very simplistic.
Let Drake be Drake.
We all want Drake to be Drake. I just want Drake to be Drake for 17 games.
Yeah. And plus the playoffs.
Right.
Let's go to Sam in Easton on the hotline. What's up, Sam?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Hey, Sam.
Good.
Hi.
Hey, just a couple of points I wanted to bring up. So hopefully I don't take up too much time. But the first of them being free agents out there. I know we spoke a lot about this over the past couple months, but one guy that I've thought a lot about, Christian Wilkins, I know he's got a huge contract and he was let go by the Raiders. I'm wondering if there's some kind of way, you could get him to come in and be a really good rotational piece with the other guys, or if you'd be in cap hell. I know we have a lot of space that's not going to roll over, so I don't
It
know
will
what the
roll
signing
over.
bonus and everything looked like. But,
The space rolls over.
Yeah, he's not under
Oh,
contract
that's
at
all
all
of it.
right now.
Christian Wilkins.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
He's a free agent. He's not going to cost you. No one wants him because there's
mental
all
health
kinds of
issues.
there's all kinds of issues
Yep.
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree, though. I mean, the player itself
Thanks,
in a
Sam.
bubble, I mean, yeah, I think he's always been. I mean, I think they were really into him a couple of years ago, right before he signed with the Raiders, and he seems to fit
That's
what
right.
they like to
There's
do.
all sorts of locker room, off the field stuff going on with Christian
do we
Wilkins.
want to have that in right now?
Stay away.
That was the guy during training camp that Vrabel mentioned. Yeah,
Yep.
we'll talk about him.
Yep.
Yep. And then they found out why he was released by the Raiders.
Brian's in Lowell. What's up, Brian?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, Brian.
I love calling guys every week. But, yeah, the Patriots are that was have a good game Sunday, huh?
It was a great game.
Yeah.
Great
Oh, my
game.
God.
Where were you watching the game, Brian?
I'm at home.
At home with just by yourself?
Oh, yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Well, either
Pretty
with
much.
someone
Yeah, I
with
wish
you
I
or
had
not.
sold games, though.
People coming in and out, probably.
Just my demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dispensary, by
But
any
Pop
chance.
Douglas, though, and that catch, though, that was sick.
Oh, I was unbelievable. I don't know how he caught. I still don't understand how he caught that ball.
One-handed, man.
When he caught that ball, did you come out of your seat?
Oh, God, yeah. I was like, oh,
I don't think
yeah,
anything
of course.
makes
I was
this
going
guy's
crazy,
heart
man.
race.
High five
Is
anyone?
that Dougie? Is that Pop?
Yeah.
How did he catch that?
Yep. Take another
my
hit.
God.
Just with
Yep.
his hands. That's how
Yep.
you do it.
That was great. Well,
was
Brian,
beautiful, man.
keep
That was-
calling. Appreciate the call.
Thanks, Brian.
Let's go to Dominic in New York. What's up, Dominic? Dominic.
Dom.
Dom is gone.
Dom Steak.
Dom is gone. All right. That's okay. We got a lot of emails here.
Why don't you read some?
I'll
Are there any more
try.
that yell at me? I'd like that. I like.
Yeah, I like it when they're not yelling at me.
Oh, you
All right,
guys,
this
you guys have a lot
come
of
after
catching up
me.
to do.
Is the
Come at me,
talk
bro.
about the use of Trevion Henderson bugging you, or are
Yes.
You, okay.
I'm not going to lie. A little bit.
Nick in Boston, I get that Trevion Henderson has not been blocking well and is not running patiently, but it's also true that
he's
the
not
way the
playing
coaching
well,
staff
but-
is using him is bizarre. If you look at his next-gen carry chart, almost every single rush is up the middle. Against the Saints, he did not have a single rush outside the tackles. Also, why not line him up out wide off the line of scrimmage like the Falcons do with Bijan and get him the ball in space on quick hitters? His usage does not fit his profile. So what do we do here? Because fans are
It's our
they're
fault.
they're
It's our
fixated
fault.
on Trevion Henderson.
Yeah, it's our fault.
I take
agree.
responsibility.
Yeah, it's our
I
fault.
agree.
We hyped him too much in
Yep,
training camp.
We did. We did.
We fell for the banana in the
I don't know if
tailpipe.
we hyped him too much, but we talked about him a lot because he looked good in training camp, and I think as you find with even some of the players that once you get to the regular season, it's not
The only
always
thing on that email that I would strongly agree with is I am a little surprised they haven't tried to do much with him in the passing game.
Yeah.
Like what he's
Yeah.
talking about, getting him
I
out
agree.
wide like Bijan Robinson. I do think he could be a matchup nightmare. But
Did you see the wheels on Bijan Robinson last night?
Oh
I
man.
mean, Jameer Gibbs.
It was Jameer Gibbs. Oh, never
Yeah.
mind.
You're not,
But
Still,
they're all
did you see the wheels on Jameer
well, it's
Gibbs
the
last night?
same.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
Bijan's fantastic.
Yeah.
Gibbs has just done it for longer.
Yeah.
But,
next week, Bijan.
Yeah.
Henderson has not played well, and that's why I think that he's fighting it a little bit. And I think his usage was down. Probably
Vrabel
game
was
plan
asked about
related
it too, right? And I mean, it sounded to me like it looked like Ramondre was getting rolling, and we said let's let him roll.
But I also think that some of the role that they envisioned for Henderson was, as a passing back, as a third down guy, and Stevenson's better at it. He's better at blocking than Henderson has been, and I think that's cut into some of his snaps as a result.
Yeah, and last week just highlighted even more that you're not. You can barely make it with two guys. You're not going to make it with just Ramondre.
they need-
Like, you
yeah,
got to
they need
figure
more.
something out.
Yeah, I agree with the emailer that I am also surprised that they haven't flexed him out a little bit or ran him on more wheel routes and like things like that out of the backfield. But the rushing chart thing, like this is also going up my backside because like they're running outside zone with him in the game. And the run reads are just taking him into the middle of the field. Like they're trying to get the ball off tackle with him in the game. Now, like I guess maybe they could toss it out to him and really get him out on the edge by doing that. But like it's not they're not running halfback dive up the middle with Travion Henderson. It's just it happens that when he's been on the field, those runs are, he has a read. Do I bounce this or do I cut it back up? And the reads have been taking him into the teeth of the defense, and that's just the way that it's
One
been.
other real quick, Freddie, is what offensively you've been disappointed with for over the last month.
It's always the next thing.
Yeah.
Like, I whatever they're doing, I mean, we talked about they're struggling to run the football. He was part of the struggles running the football. They gave the carries to one guy this week, and whatever, maybe it's because they went with a light box. Maybe it was because Tennessee's just not good. They're not. Stevenson ran really well.
Yeah.
And the offense did really well, again, for whatever, the fourth, fifth week in a row.
Yep. Austin in Oklahoma, I think he has the answer to your thing, Paul, why you're a little mixed up. You're thinking
I'm a lot mixed up.
Adjusted completion percentage. Drake May had an adjusted completion
guy.
of 95.5.
This guy.
Got to the bottom
I
of
told you I'm probably screwing up the stat.
Yeah. It
Thank
was
you.
adjusted.
Thank you, emailer.
Adjusted.
Yeah, that's what
Different.
it was.
That like accounts for like drops and things like that.
That's what I thought. And I was just trying to figure out, based on the 2 incompletions, which one of them was supposed to have been caught.
Yeah, that
2.
That's
Right.
fair, dog. That's fair. I don't
Carl
know.
in Salt Lake City thinks that Josh McDaniels might be intentionally keeping plays of Henderson off the tape early in the season, saving those
Are you
big
not
designs
watching
for later.
when, like, Stevens? Like, I just don't get it. Like, you prefaced that perfectly, Freddie. Is this starting to be a thing? Is
Yeah.
this starting to bother you a little bit?
Little bit.
Can we just say that he's a
Although
rookie?
Chisholm had 9 snaps.
Yeah, and so, like, should we have an
great
inquiry
block.
as to why? I think he had 10 snaps, actually. But can we have an inquiry as to why
It's
they're not
coming.
getting him involved?
It's coming.
Like, please. Like, he hasn't played well. It's not, like, an indictment of the pick. It's not an indictment of him. Like, he hasn't played well. He's played 7 games as a pro.
I just keep coming back to James White and him having, a redshirt year, and even his second year wasn't all that great. And then, that third year, he becomes the guy. So you just have to be a little patient. But again, I blame us for hyping him up. And I mean, I don't really want to say that's that negative because he did look really good. It wasn't like we were making it up. But it's a lot different once you get into real NFL
like I said,
games, and
I have
they're
been
screwing with
surprised
you
they
and-
haven't tried to target a linebacker a little bit more in the passing game. But they've given him opportunities to run the ball. They've given him opportunities to be in pass protection. They've given him opportunities to do the things that he supposedly does well. And he hasn't done a lot of them well.
Yeah.
Darius in Louisville, I have a couple things to get off my chest. First, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about an easy or soft schedule. We lost 13 games the last 2 seasons, and most of them were against bad teams. Now that we're actually winning these games, people want to talk about how easy the schedule is. Stop it.
That took longer than I thought.
Secondly, I kind of want to defend Pop. If he's running full speed, wide open shouldn't be the throw in front of him. Wide open, shouldn't the throw be in front of him for his run after catch instead of stopping his full momentum to sit down? And lastly, I don't review the film or anything, but from the naked eye, it seems like they are using Henderson the wrong way. Okay, the wrong way.
On the Pop one, you run it the way the quarterback wants it to be run. And that's just universal across any quarterback, any team, really any level. Like, if Drake May wants you to just sit, then you sit.
You sit.
Right, like it's really...
If there are rules for route running and for quarterback play, you need to follow them. And if they're in a certain coverage that dictates you run the route in a certain way and you don't do it, the quarterback can't wait and say, he's supposed to do this, but he's not doing it. I'm going to adjust and throw it this way. You can't do that.
You have to see the same thing.
Especially in a fourth down play where it's obviously a quick hitter. That was supposed to be very fast.
and it didn't cost him this week, but if it's in January and we're talking wild card weekend and it doesn't...
The schedule thing, yes. They've lost to bad teams. This is what Mike Vrabel talked about. We want to be in position where we could take advantage of bad football. And they've made progress from the last 2 years to this year to be able to take advantage of bad football. Don't get your panties in a bunch that people are saying it's a bad schedule. It's the single worst schedule since the league expanded to 16 games in 1978. Statistically, it's the single worst schedule. So you can say that they had easy schedules the last year. Not as easy as this. Like, why do we have to be upset about being 5-2? Why do we do this?
Cody in Indiana, I freaking love Brian and Lowell. He calls in every week, and all he asks is, so how about the game? Never change, Brian. You ought to be a Patriots beat writer with such hard-hitting questions. Ooh, wow.
That's fun.
Wow.
Brian, I just want to get to the bottom of who he's
deep.
watching these games with, though. I don't know. That was a little suspect.
It was mysterious.
You watch it with somebody? Well, yeah.
Not ready to commit fully whether or not I watched with somebody
Just
else.
my demons, my own personal demons that I watch.
Might have been the side piece. You know,
Oh, right. We don't want to blow Brian's cover.
Evan's strong show continuing.
You don't want to tell the
Some
main
wife,
piece.
he's like, I'm married to Brian and Lowell. I didn't watch the game.
Not that I would know. You know,
maybe his wife is listening, and all of a sudden,
the whole family loves the show.
who was he watching the game with? I wasn't with him.
Right. We'll get next week when he calls.
You're picking up what
we'll
I'm putting
ask him
down.
about
I
this.
like it. I like it.
Back to the phones. Ivan's in California. Hey, Ivan.
Hey, gents. How we doing today?
Okay.
Great.
Whoa, Paul.
Awesome.
Great, really?
5-2, bro.
like you.
Playoffs.
Yes. I wanted to weigh in on the culture versus winning thing, and then I got a question on the O-line. To me, without a good culture, you don't win, right? And Vrabel, what he brought instantly was the credibility of being a great player or an ex-player at a high level, coaching at a high level, picking his own staff, which is including Josh McDaniels, which some of this narrative out there that Josh was forced upon him is such BS because he already made the comment that he spoke with Josh many times over the last year. And, we're seeing the results of that. Now, of course, you got to bring in the right players to execute on your vision. And I think that that's where the rest of the staff and the team has come together on that. So I think we're seeing that, which is a big difference of where we've been the last couple of years. So the question I have on the O-line, though, is, and all in deference to Evan, you do great stuff, but I'm not a stat geek. I let my eyes see what I see. And Jared Wilson's really struggling. I know he's a rookie. At the same time, we keep saying that he might be, better off at a center, and we've got Bradbury there. Just wondering if Bradbury's starting to come back to what we thought he would be when we first signed him. And, what do you guys think that we could do? Is it too early or too late? Not too late, but too early to put Wilson at center and maybe put Brown in a guard and ride it that way? I'll take it off the air. Thanks, guys.
I think it's too late to change two positions. Yeah. And with the quarterback playing as well as he is, changing his center is not something I'd be interested in doing. Now, the Wilson to Ben Brown, that was something I was talking about. To Jared Wilson's defense, on Ramondre's 16-yard run, he made one of the best run blocks I've seen a Patriot make all year. So there are flashes of him playing
Showed a
well.
good replay of that on the broadcast.
But at the same time, the pass protection, the physicality, the power in the run game isn't all there for him yet, at guard especially. So it's hard for him to dig out bigger run stuffing defensive tackles and things like that. I get it. I think that there is a case, and I go back to 2021 when they put Ted Karras in the starting lineup for Mike Onwenu. Onwenu had a much higher ceiling and was the future on the line, but that line just fit better with Ted Karras instead of Onwenu. It just, the five men just came together better with Teddy K. So could that be the case with Ben Brown instead of Jared Wilson? Maybe, but doesn't seem like they're really rushing to make that move. But I would not change two positions. I think once you start doing that is when it's a house of cards and you start getting yourself in trouble.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just to the culture point, I think at some point Vrabel said you don't really know what your culture is until you have adversity. And so it's easy to say they have great culture right now when they're on a heater and they're winning. But, I think it speaks more to the bounce back after the Pittsburgh game that Vrabel's pointed back to is to have a bad game like that and to see us bounce back. We'll see what kind of culture they have. I believe in it. I'm not trying to poo-poo it, but I just think until you have a game like Baker Mayfield last night, MVP guy has kind of a down game. Do you bounce back? Are you able to put a bet? Because they happen all the time.
And
I think in the NFL.
The whole culture thing, and it's definitely relevant with this team. I think we talked about it in the first hour. You can see a difference. We've been around this team for the last few years, and you can see the difference. Mike made the point of when the losses started to pile up, as opposed to now when the wins are piling on. You can see the difference in the mentality and the demeanor. Evan talked about, their demeanor on the road even has noticeably changed. But Philadelphia doesn't have good chemistry right now. They don't have a good culture right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still finding ways to win for the most part. Now, maybe they'll iron it out. They did it last year.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like Sirianni could get fired any week last year. And all of a sudden, they never lost again. So it can be fleeting, and you can lose it and recapture it when you have the talent that Philadelphia has. This team, I think, is going to need to maintain this kind of culture because I don't think they have as much base talent to fall back on if there starts to be some infighting. Yeah. Douglas's comment about, he's funny because he's only been around 3 years, but never been on a team where the offense and defense get along as well as this team does.
Right.
I think that's part of it. I think Ivan's right. I think that's part of the success.
Brian's in Georgia. Hey, Brian.
Georgia.
Brian.
Hello.
Hey. All right, you on the midnight train?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
All right.
So I was having a question. Do y'all remember the team that was hot in 6-0, 7-0 a couple years ago with Brady? It had the boogeyman on it.
Yeah,
2019.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that schedule was easy, and we was drinking the Kool-Aid, and we ran into the Ravens.
Yep.
Okay. Do y'all see that's a little bit comparison to this? I know this team is hot, and I love Drake May and us, but do you think when we run into Lions, Ravens, Chiefs, and Colts, it could look like that?
It could, but remember the whole boogeyman thing was the defense back then, if I recall. The defense was kind of getting a little ahead of themselves there.
Well, they were just.
In fact, a lot of guys in the locker room didn't like that.
Yeah, they were dominating bad teams.
They were dominating.
And the offense is smoking, and this one, the defense is.
Yeah.
So
No.
Gilmore won
Listen,
Defensive Player of the Year.
Brian.
Like,
I'm
that
very
defense.
eager to see what it looks like when we play Tampa Bay, and if Lamar comes back and we play the Ravens and some of these better teams. When we play the Bills a second time, I know that's down the road, but
you just named all the better teams.
End of list.
But
how they deal with even Cincinnati, and I know Flacco's no great shakes, but when those receivers, he just showed you they can score points.
And Atlanta's got a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
Atlanta's very inconsistent offensively. If you catch them in a week that they, like last week, they looked like they'd never moved the ball before. The week before, they couldn't be stopped.
So, the key difference for me is that you were a different team then. You were a team that had the end of Tom Brady, and you were trying to squeeze Super Bowls out, and it was Super Bowl or bust. And maybe it's a bad example, but how much easier or how much harder is the Jets schedule than the Patriots? I mean, they're probably they have three different opponents.
The Bills schedule is just the same.
So it's pretty much the same. Now
the
that
AFC
team
East has the easiest schedules in the league,
and that they haven't won a game yet. So now you're talking about Aaron Glenn not building a culture, not having any kind of program, not having any kind of belief. But now, on the other side of the coin, you have Mike Vrabel, and we are talking about
Woody
that.
Johnson said if they could complete a pass, it would look different. I'm not making that up. I just read that on Twitter.
I'm not looking this year as saying we got to get a Super Bowl this year because time is running out. I'm looking at it as this is year one of a completely new regime, and to look at it 7 games in and say we have belief, we have buy-in, we have the startings of a new program. Despite the easy schedule, I don't really care. They need wins. They need to stack confidence and belief. Meanwhile, the Jets are facing a similar schedule, and they can't get out of their own way. So, it doesn't necessarily mean, you have an easy schedule.
That's the difference between having a quarterback and not.
And I know that statistically this might be the easiest, but last year they played a lot of bad teams, and like the emailer said, they didn't win those games.
No.
They couldn't beat the easy
10-3.
teams.
They beat some of them, and they lost to some of them too. This year they've only lost one of those games. Now, the one thing that I would say to Mike that I strongly agree with there is the whole 19 thing. Yeah, when they played better teams, they lost, and that was an indication that you weren't going to be good enough to win the Super Bowl, and that was not good enough.
Yeah.
Given where you were at that time.
Right.
If it turns out that you play, let's just say for argument's sake, it's worst case scenario. You lose to Atlanta, Tampa, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Buffalo. Worst case scenario, you lose all 5 of those games. Yes, it'll be extremely disappointing that we haven't progressed as far as we all thought. But that's not going to end it's not going to close the book. The 2019 season it was clear. That's it. This is it. one last rodeo. Tom's leaving. That's our window. We're done for now.
Yeah.
This is going to be, okay, we're not quite ready to be that kind of a playoff team, but we can still win 10 games, make the playoffs, and, be frisky when we get in the playoffs. The arrow's pointing up. We're still going to be even better next year. You can look at it that way.
They were coming off a Super Bowl going this way. We're coming off 4 wins and going this way.
Right. Even if you lose all those games against the supposedly tough teams.
And even if the season ends exactly the same way as 19, you lose a home playoff game in a tight game to, a good team. Like, I'm not
even saying a home playoff game. If you lose all 5 of those games, you ain't getting a home playoff game. But
even if you win exactly the same, it's a completely different feeling afterwards. Where we just hosted a home playoff
even if you
game for
don't
the
make
first
the
time in 4
playoffs
years.
for whatever reason. Let's say you lose to one of the teams that you don't expect to lose. Let's say you lose to Cleveland, so you go 9-8 and you don't make the playoffs. I still think the arrow would be it would be disappointing. I'm not trying to be like, oh, listen to the team broadcast telling everybody it's okay. No, it wouldn't be. We'll be upset. We'll come. Mike and I will do post game shows and we'll be red-faced and annoyed that they let an opportunity slip away. But I think the bottom line would be the future is bright.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of the future, Eldred's in North Carolina. What's up, Eldred? Woof.
Hey, fellas. How y'all doing? No, I drive a bit better than that, Mike. Been doing it for 17 years.
Yeah.
We're very well trained.
Somebody almost merged into my lane today. Oof, I was so mad. Anyway, go ahead, Eldred.
Yep. Go ahead, Eldred. Now, I get it the other way, Mike. They shoot across me, get to the damn exit. And I be hunking my own at them doing that, too. But, Evan?
Yes, sir.
There's two things that North Carolina is celebrating this week. One is the Panthers, and the other is Drake May. That's all they're talking about now.
Okay.
Take your flowers, buddy. Take your flowers, buddy.
Sure.
I guess they can share in the excitement about Drake May. Nice.
Allow it.
I mean,
get on board. Come on.
Why shouldn't they?
So like the whole state just gets to claim him? Like I don't know. It just.
Why? He went to the college there.
Like
Grew up there.
I mean, yeah, he was
Like
from
I told
there.
And he's from there.
He's
Yeah,
royalty.
but like that, I don't know. It's like if like AJ
brother hit
Dependenza
a
like
huge
has
shot
a big
in
NBA
basketball.
career, we can just claim him and
I
he's
don't
just
know.
all,
Like if you did something great, I think Needham would be right behind you.
No,
No?
like Allie Raisman.
Nope.
Yeah.
Paul and Peabody.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Evan, I only stayed 15 miles from his house.
Oh.
I know the school he went to, the neighborhood. I'm around that area. So everybody's celebrating.
I know. I'm just
Everybody's
teasing. I'm just teasing.
That's great. I love
But
it.
That's cool. But that's cool. Yeah. But my question is this. Okay. I'm like everybody else to that defense, offense, a little bit worried, but that defense, I mean, I know second half they stopped, but the first half scares the hell out of me. And that's what I'm wondering. So what can they do to tighten it up? Team better or better player?
Yeah.
And I'll take it off the air.
All right, thanks. It's funny because I think in New Orleans, that first play, I think they tried to do something on defense to kind of stem that, and it backfired on them.
Yeah.
And it backfired.
Yeah,
right.
like I said earlier, because I agree with you, Fred. I think they tried to pull a fast one on New Orleans to try to get a good play early.
Yeah.
Because they keep saying that once they make a play, they start to rally around that and they start to get the energy and get going. But I think they played pretty vanilla early in these games. And again, I don't know if that's by design. I don't know if they would admit that it's by design, even if it was by design, but they kind of just come out in their base defense and their base schemes and do what they do. And, then once they kind of like let the other team empty the clip of like all of the game plan scripted plays.
Right.
And then they're like, all right, like you got your little throwback off the boot, out of your system.
Right.
Like now let's play football.
The problem with some of the better teams is their clip is a lot bigger.
Right.
And it
banana
doesn't
clip.
necessarily
That's my
empty.
concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evan, question for you.
Yeah.
Marty Mapu, there's something growing there a little bit? There's something
Maybe.
growing?
I mean, it was garbage time, so I don't
but
want to
he
put
just-
too much on
I
it.
just
But
like his size, his
Yep.
movement, skill. Like I don't know. He looks the part to me. And I mean, 20 snaps, nothing. That's our running joke now on the post game show. How much did Marty Mapu play? But
Yeah.
just as they consider to explore options, I don't know. I think he's doing a pretty good job.
yeah, I do wonder if, is there a third down role for him?
Yeah.
Where, maybe you do take a Spillane or an Ellis or someone like that off the field and get a more athletic coverage linebacker, converted safety that has a little bit more skill in coverage to defend in some of those situations. I mean, they've been pretty good in third and like medium plus, like, so it's not like it's been a problem, but their early down defense has really been where the problems
Mike
are.
has numbers that'll
All right,
back
do you
that
want me
up.
to share this? I want to share this now because Paul made fun of me, but I don't think I need Evan to tell me I'm dumb. If Evan tells me I'm dumb, then
I didn't.
no, that this is silly.
I love the new notebook. I love it with the pen with the multiple
I like
colors.
the
and-
old school multicolor pen.
I didn't tell you it was dumb.
No, not dumb, but you
What's
tease me.
dumb?
All
What's
right, but
dumb?
they were talking EPA on the Patriots defense. All right, so first
Sure.
of all, I got to say, I didn't say this to you, Paul, on the show, but they're 10th in EPA on first down. All right, so 10th. So they're a very good first down defense. Now, the breakdown, though, that I had, and I'm going to try to make these as digestible as possible because nobody wants to.
Just don't use the numbers, use the rankings. It's much easier that way.
Okay, so I'm talking about the difference second and third down, short to mid. So second and third down, 1 to 6 yards versus second and third down and long. All right, so
I'm already lost.
Second and third down, 1 to 6 yards. They're the 30th ranked defense in the league. So second and third down, 1 to 6 yards. So short or middle. Back that up to second and third down and long, they're 6th. So, and we've talked a lot about the circumstantial, like, oh, they got a holding call that made it second and long. So just from these numbers that I was nerding out on, it's just like it points to a weird thing of when it's long distance, like no problem, we're going to cover, we're going to get after the quarterback. But when it's short and medium on second and third down, they're not very good.
Is that speed in the middle?
I don't know. I mean, that's what the debate is. You know?
So they're 18th in early down EPA, first and second down EPA. They're 9th and third down EPA. And I think the big thing, looking at the discrepancy, is that they stop the run really well, but on early downs they're getting killed by passes. And I don't know why the early down defense is not stopping the pass well, but it's not, and so that's just statistically what it is.
Mm-hmm. Let's look at the style. Are they giving too much cushion? Are they not pressing enough?
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing
not married up.
That's like I think concerning is right now statistically they're one of the worst man coverage defenses in football, and that was supposed to be their calling card. That was supposed to be how they were built. And I think what the issues that you're seeing are the linebacker and safety play in the middle of the field, either not supporting the man coverage defenders with help, like the Marcus Jones example that we were talking about earlier, or they're getting isolated in man coverage on the safeties and linebackers, and then they're picking on those guys in man-to-man coverage. So either way you look at it, I do think it stems from the middle of the field. And I know that there's been some criticism of Carlton Davis and maybe a little bit less so, but even, Gonzalez should not be giving up third down completions to Van Jefferson. Okay, no disrespect to Van Jefferson, but
Sounds like
Christian Gonzalez is a much, much better player than Van Jefferson. But those two guys really are not giving up a lot of yardage. They really aren't. So it's coming in the middle of the field, and that is, if you're looking at personnel and you're looking into next offseason or even the trade deadline, like getting more dynamic pass game players at linebacker and safety is got to be where you start.
One more follow-up on this, kind of unrelated. Would you say now that Christian Ellis is less a starter and it's more a rotational spot next to Spillane? Because it just doesn't, it seems to me like it's a rotation now. And Gibbons is going to get in there, and Tavai is going to play a little bit in the three linebacker stuff. But, at the start of the season, it felt like it was Ellis and Spillane are our two guys. And then when Ellis wouldn't play so good, it felt like, all right, let's get another guy in there. But now to me, it just seems like it's kind of a rotational spot, which is probably a little bit of an indictment of what you're talking about.
And I think that they've slightly upgraded Bentley to Spillane in terms of coverage.
Yeah.
But it's still not his strong suit. So like we were talking earlier about the crosser, that was one of the better throws that Cam Ward made. I mean, like a better coverage linebacker, does he like squeeze that throw? Does he get a hand on it? I don't know. And I know that's nitpicky, but like these are the plays that they're giving up.
Yeah.
They're giving up bombs on post routes. They're giving up crossers over the middle of the field. They're giving up in-breaking routes, from the outside, slants and skinny posts and things like that. Like they're not giving up go routes. They're not giving up things to the outside out because Gonzalez and Davis are there. Yeah. So like it's all this other stuff that is hurting them in
In
the
the
pass
NFL,
defense.
do you kind of have to give up something
That's
nowadays?
a good question, Fred. I kind of feel like a little bit with that of, look, we know that this guy might not be great in coverage, but he's going to be super reliable against the run. He's going to, know where to be. Like, I hear what you're saying.
If
I've
you
been
have
thinking
good
that way, too.
offense, like the Patriots have had so far, their defense is good enough
Yeah.
to be fine. Like, I don't think there's any. I agree with Fred. Just like piggybacking a little bit, Mike, I think, got defensive because I was like, so let me get this straight. If it's 3rd and long, the Patriots defense can be okay. If it's 2nd and short, not so much. Now, I get what Mike is saying.
Yeah.
It's relative because
Yeah,
everybody's
right,
3rd and long.
Right, everybody's third.
And they're really
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Everybody's 2nd and
Yeah.
short, and they're really bad. I get what Mike
Yep.
is saying. I
Yeah, yeah.
understand
Yeah.
the numbers.
I
I would just
appreciate
say,
that, Paul.
anecdotally, without breaking down tape and whatnot, I think this is a team that conventionally doesn't get a lot of pressure front four without doing stuff. So
right.
it just stands to reason that when it's 3rd and long, they get pressure. They can get some pressure because they can dial it up a little bit. They know when they know what's coming. I think they've been better. Now, again, that's still relative. Everybody else knows what's coming too, and they're better than, would you say, 6th on 3rd and long? So they're better than everybody else on 3rd and long.
Yeah, I mean, they're 9th on 3rd down in general. And to that point, I put this in after further review as well. Like, they're playing a lot of man-free, which is just man-to-man with one single high safety in the middle of the field. So there's nobody at the second level that's a help defender. There's no robber at the second level of the defense. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're blitzing. Because to Paul's point, they don't feel confident in the 4-man pass rush getting home. So now this is the dilemma is like, do you take the robber and you drop the robber? Well, now you only have a 4-man pass rush. Or you can put the robber in the rush and now you have a 5-man pass rush. So you have to decide where are you going to put the numbers. And without that person in the middle of the field, like Van Jefferson, 3rd and 3, he just runs a slant right into the middle of the open field and there's nobody inside to help Gonzalez. So he just gets beat. Carlton Davis got beat on the same exact route by Rashid Shaheed the week before.
So
and so it's just that's it.
And when we're talking about some of this stuff, and by the way, Vrabel mentioned some of these things on Monday. Have to be better early in games and on early downs. And specifically, he said we need to generate pressure on early downs. We're not, and that sort of speaks to that a little bit. But I also would say that part of it is when you're 3rd and long, with the offenses that they've been playing, you might as well punt.
Yeah, right.
The Tennessee Titans aren't converting 3rd and 11s.
Yeah, right.
The Carolina Panthers aren't.
That's a good point.
They need to be ahead of the chains.
Yeah.
Their offenses are so limited. We're talking about 30 ranked, 31st ranked, 32nd ranked. They can't be 3rd and long. They can't overcome that. The biggest difference between the Patriots offense the past 2 years and this year is it's not time to punt when it's 3rd and long for the Patriots anymore.
That's right.
They've been able to convert some of those.
Preach.
Yeah, that's a great. And I just
So
Paul,
that's obviously going to make your numbers better when you're playing these terrible offenses, and then when you are able to get them behind. To your point, you get a holding call. That's the end.
Yeah, right.
Because they can't overcome that.
Right. Or even a false start for 5.
Drive killer.
But Paul, I'm glad you brought that up because this was another point I kind of came out of my little nerd review that the pass rush hasn't been that great, and I think we all kind of look at. Barmore looks really good. Williams has gotten some pressures in some key spots. I mean,
you're looking at
looked
sack
really good.
numbers, and you deceive like they had 5 sacks in the game.
But
I don't
the
think
overall
they had great
pressure it has not been that great this year, and that's I think is it maybe that's. I'm glad you brought that up. That's
and
a
when
big
they
thing that
got
came
it,
out.
it was after that 21-point blitz. They really, I mean, I think Chason had a pretty good game.
Yeah.
To
No,
be
he's had
honest
two
with
good
you,
ones. Yeah.
I thought he had a couple of good pressures in the game.
I thought maybe it's the tape that they saw of Williams and Barmore, but I thought the Titans were kind of ready for that pressure, and they were coaching Cam Ward deep drops, move out of the pocket, and a lot of times he had plenty of time because he wasn't even near where the
Certainly
rush
in the
was.
first half, he had all day.
Well, they rolled him on the throwback play, but I wonder like if you. So it's all about numbers, right? Like if you put 6 guys in coverage, you have 5 in the rush. If you put 7 in coverage, you have 4 in the rush. If they put 7 in coverage and they play more robber, or they have one high safety with the robber at the sticks, and that allows these man coverage defenders. In theory, the quarterback has to hold the ball longer. right? Because it's not the coverage is going to be tighter. And that's how you that's always the dilemma is like, is it pass rush or is it coverage? And I just wonder with this team, with Gonzalez, Davis, and Marcus Jones being as good as they are in man coverage, if you just give all the resources to the coverage and say, we are just going to lock teams down, eventually I feel like Landry, Chase, on Milton Williams, and Barmore are going to get home.
Yeah.
Like it might not be instant pressure like it would be if you try to dial it up or whatever with blitzes. But if you give them 3 seconds to get to the quarterback, then I think more times than not, then they're going to cause pressure and cause disruption. So I just wonder if that's they start to try to change up their man schemes because like they're literally dead last in EPA in man coverage. Like that shouldn't happen with the personnel they have.
Franklin in Baltimore writes, and I've been watching the post-game locker room reactions, and I got to say, this is the most bought-in I've seen a Patriots team in a while. I don't even think the 2018 squad with its Super Bowl win was as bought in, which I know is a crazy thing to say since they locked in during the playoffs. But Vrabel has an approach that's similar to Dan Campbell, where the player-coach mentality is married to a modern approach to analytics. If it wasn't for Steichen, Vrabel would be the front runner for Coach of the Year.
So you're not crazy on the 2018 comparison because that team clearly, you know,
together by
we knew it going through it.
Yeah.
But it was confirmed with the documentary. They didn't like each other. They didn't like what was going on.
Yeah.
There was a lot of dissension in that team. It's another example of like you can win even if you don't have good culture if you have enough talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's no question this team is bought in.
It's
absolutely bought in.
The Dan Campbell thing is fascinating to me. I
was thinking about you the other night, watching the lines a little last night about because that's what you were worried about. Like Ben Johnson leaves and the offense is but this is what I was thinking actually, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Because I was literally thinking about you last night when I was watching this.
That's nice.
But it's like
I was thinking about you too.
And I think
think about me.
It's like you get things up and running, and like the system is But once you have to start changing out parts, is that when it starts? Because all these guys were coached by Ben Johnson. They were, the energy was kind of, and so they're able to continue that a little bit. But as you start to get farther away, is this when, all right, now we got to put a guy in a key role that hasn't really played, and now it's going to start to get even more difficult. But I was thinking about that last night. They still look crazy good.
By the way, the offense that leads the league in explosive plays, Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson. But the former player model, the Dan Campbell, the Mike Vrabel, with the analytical whiz kid sidekick is like my new favorite brain trust. Like normally, me, I like the tight pants,
the nerd at the
right?
top,
like I would hire Ben Johnson 10 times out of 10. But there's something to be said for the guy that's played and been in the room and been in their shoes and has that kind of bravado about him that Vrabel and Dan Campbell has, but then they're complemented by Stretch, by people like that can help them with the nerd side of things. And just hearing yesterday with Vrabel with Cleveland coming up, and obviously he spent the year last year with the Browns, and talking a little bit about adopting more analytics and like how the Patriots have approached that, and learning some of the things from Cleveland. And it's been cool how open he is to that side of things, because not a lot of former players turned coaches are that he's.
Do you want to hear all the
embracing
things that are bad about PU?
Yeah.
That stink about us?
Oh,
yeah.
I love these.
Yeah.
This is Isaac from Westfield.
Okay.
Says the first thing, he says that these are things you absolutely need to change.
Okay.
First, Patty from Agawam. This guy is the most boring milquetoast schlep to ever call in.
Right.
Why do you consistently answer his calls as if we care it's his birthday and that he went to training camp once? 2, the return from practice and locker room music. Whose brilliant idea was this? I want to die of cringe every time I hear this.
That's one of the best parts.
Well, this is all
Deuce's
Isaac.
song slaps.
3,
violent disagreement with that.
the sponsors. If I hear one more back-to-back, your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money in that smug FedEx voice, I'm going to go insane. And Brunt Workwear, enough, Fred. How much are these guys paying you? Get some new sponsors. 4, Fred's lack of knowledge with the current NFL landscape. Now, we all love Fred and his good vibes, but holy crap, does he even watch?
I will not stand for that.
It's got to be a bit about how many times he butchers players' names, what team a player is on, how long they've been out of the league, etc. Can somebody explain his job Is he more of a producer and more of a vibes guy who used to follow the team? 5, Christian in L.A. So was he a troll? Was it all a bit? He's slowly becoming somewhat normal, and you've let him off the hook without acknowledging it. 6, press conferences. If we wanted to hear Mike Vrabel pretend he's not an alpha male a-hole personality for 30 seconds every week by kissing Karen Garigian's butt, we tune in live on the radio or watch on YouTube. Cut those boring filler segments from the show. If you have any integrity, you will read this on air.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, I love when they challenge you.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know we put that at the end. I read it anyway. So it wasn't because of that ending sentence.
I'm a little disappointed. I feel left out.
Flame my song, but I didn't get flamed though.
I feel left out. Everybody else.
Well, here's one for you.
Is there something
This is
in
somebody
that?
else. Brendan in Edmonton.
Thank you, Brendan.
Been a PU listener for 15 years. And during the dark ages of 19 to 24, I distinctly recall a slow-building, melancholic tone to Paul over the years. But during this win streak, I've noticed Paul is happier and more spirited than ever. I just wanted to point this out and share my happiness for the team and Paul.
I really appreciate it. Not what I was looking for. I was looking for the criticism, but it's pretty simple. You win 4 games. It's.
Well,
I mean, we can try to put as much lipstick on it as we can. It's a little different when the quarterback is playing.
I don't
like
know if
this.
I did it on air, but I mean, I think part of the nuance too for Paul is that they're winning the game with talent, and they have it's not just
but
smoke and
Mike, I know
mirrors
what he
and
means. Because you have the bad schedule, right?
Yeah.
And let's face it, not all 5 and 2s are the same. Like you could be winning these games 13-10 because the other team turns it over 4 times and you only turn it over twice.
Yeah.
That's not how they're winning these games.
You were afraid of that in the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You didn't want that.
And I didn't want to win because of defense.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a very sustainable model.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just use the play at the end of the half, the touchdown throw to Booty, where Jason McCourty's saying like, "Oh, they're going to play for halftime. They're going to."
Well, he didn't say they were going to play for halftime. They wanted to end the half with the ball.
He was probably right, but it just happens that Drake May is on the field. But it is crazy
exciting.
waking up this morning after the whole slate is over. Drake May is 3rd in betting odds for MVP of the league.
And does anybody think that's ridiculous?
No.
And
the people that are in front of him are Mahomes and Allen off of resume.
Yeah, right.
Like it just the expectation is the next 9 weeks those guys will rise to the top. It's not. He's played better than both of those guys.
And one of the guys that had sort of been playing at that level took a big step back last night.
He was horrible.
It's just one game, but he was bad last night.
He was horrible.
Yeah.
I would say you can't ignore what's going on in Indy with both Jones and Taylor.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they both played at an exceptionally high level. But there's nobody that would argue right now. What do you mean Drake May is an MVP candidate?
I think
of course
Cam Newton.
he is.
Cam Newton might have. I saw
MVP
Cam Newton having
of
some
the
issues.
league.
Oh,
Like, that
Drake
is-
May.
Did you see that?
Can I just tell you? Don't anybody tell Drake May that.
I know,
That would
it's his
crush
hero.
him. That's
I
his
know.
guy.
Yeah.
Maybe motivate him. He's like that. He doesn't. He takes
Cam
that
knows
to
what
heart.
he's doing. Cam,
But yeah,
Cam wouldn't disrespect
Someone's
us.
got to let Cam know what Drake thinks of him, and I think that would change in a.
It does help, Baker playing bad on Monday Night Football definitely helps Drake May.
Yeah.
Because everybody's real last memory of Drake May is Sunday Night Football in Buffalo. So when you play poorly in these primetime showings, that does sway the vote.
I would even add in, Mike Evans going down with the broken collarbone. Like that's.
Oh, is that what happened to him?
That's going to be part of that.
I saw him come out. I didn't know what was wrong with him, though.
Oh man.
What is it, Fred?
Everything works out for the
There
Patriots.
you
I'm glad
go.
we're back
It's
to everything
always-
working out.
I'm telling you, it's like the good old days, Freddie.
Mike Evans is hurt. Michael Penix has like a bone bruise in his leg.
He's got a bruise.
I didn't even know about that one.
It was funny because I saw this yesterday, and Penix is one of Bar's boys. Bar's big Penix guy. And so I texted him, and I was like, so now the Patriots are going to face Dylan Gabriel, Kirk Cousins, and Baker Mayfield without Mike Evans.
Yeah, but don't. Kirk Cousins can. He can
Stop
spin it.
I'd rather face Penix than Kirk
I hope
Cousins.
Penix plays. I want back-to-back lefties.
Okay, so then you'll face Penix on one leg.
I want, no, I just
I'm
want
saying-
back-to-back lefty quarterbacks. I just think that's a funny, weird anomaly.
That's true.
Joe's in Pennsylvania. What's up, Joe?
Yo, Joe.
Hey guys, love the show, and I love the entrance music from the locker room. Just
Good.
To say.
Thank you, Joe.
I don't know how you could
It gets stuck in my
Top
head all
notch.
day. But I have a question about just like the future, like Chase on and Booty, right? But first, too, I want to say like with the Jets and the Dolphins, it's nice that they only have one combined win. But I actually hope they help us out and like become like a trap game for some other like AFC playoff teams.
Yeah,
That could happen.
help us down the road.
They can complete a pass.
And so they're not
pretty good.
drafting so high.
I mean, you just look at the Jets the last 2 weeks. They gave up 13 points consecutive weeks and lost the games.
Yeah.
Like that you can win a game if you only allow 13 points.
Right.
So they could do exactly what
Unless
Joe
you're the
says. They
Jets.
could trip somebody up.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah. And my question is, so here's the scenario, guys. Really, with the future of Chason and Booty, Chason only signed a 1-year deal, but let's say we're draft next year. We're selected mid-20s. Let's just say, do we re-sign Chason as our starter defensive end next year? And is Booty like our X going forward? To me, he's our X going forward. If that's the case, what position are we drafting?
Well,
What's their biggest need, you think?
I don't think
I like
one.
the edge.
I don't think one takes away the other. If you like Chason and you sign him, that doesn't mean if you're in a position to get.
I don't think either one of those guys would eliminate me from looking at that position in the draft. I don't know what's going to be available. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know
Joe.
either. But I generally speaking now, with a little bit of diving on the draft, like you need to get younger at the edge position. It's a critical position. It's the only one of the big five that you don't feel like. Well, I guess receiver too, where you don't really have the young talent that you're going to need long term. So I don't put receiver atop that list. But if an opportunity presented itself to get somebody established, I might be interested in that. But
there's a lot of things that you might need a tackle next year. I mean, Morgan Moses is 34 years old.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how much they think of Marcus Bryant.
Yeah.
Maybe they think he's great, and then that's not a worry at all.
Younger at
I don't
tight
know.
end.
Tight end is
safety
another one.
linebackers.
Yeah, I mean, there's tough class for some of these positions in the first round at least. Like edge is really the one that everybody's been touting as the deepest
Mike's
part
been
of the
on this
draft.
for a long time.
But just in terms of the talent in the draft, like edge
Mike's been on edge.
is everyone's talking about this edge class already? Like it's going to be a really good one. So maybe if they're picking like in the teens and a couple go ahead of them, like they might have somebody fall to them that isn't necessarily supposed to be there, and you might get lucky.
Todd's in North Carolina. Hey, Todd. Todd is gone. Yep.
Why would he hang up like
By
that?
the way, shout out to the Nashville Patriots fan club. Big party on
They get after
Saturday
it?
night. They got after it.
Yeah.
At the Live Oak Bar.
Did
Very
you go?
good.
Did you make
yeah,
an appearance?
I was there.
Yeah,
I made an
shook some
appearance.
hands?
Yep.
Kiss some babies.
Evan didn't though, right?
No,
behind the velvet ropes.
Evan doesn't.
No.
I did.
Barbecue.
I did.
I tell you, Evan, if you were there, you wouldn't have bought a drink. Everybody's like, "Where's Evan?"
I was getting into an Uber to go back to the hotel on Saturday night, and the door opens and this kid comes flying out of the Uber and is like, "Evan, oh my God, I'm the biggest fan. Can I take a selfie?" This whole thing. He's like talking to
power
me
of PU.
about PU and Catch 22 and like just on the random road in Nashville, Tennessee.
You made his night.
And a fan of the show just pops out of the Uber that I was getting in. Like, what are the odds of like that whole thing happening? So a ton of Patriots fans down in
Do
Nashville.
you think
It
it's
was
tough,
pretty
like
cool.
when he goes to share that story with someone, and it's kind of probably hard for like his mom or dad or girlfriend to like appreciate like who? No, I saw Evan Lazar. Like, who?
Yeah.
You don't listen to PU? I don't know who that is.
I mean,
it's not like I met Tom Hanks.
No, I agree.
No, I'm saying the same thing for me. Like, like saying like any of us, like who? I mean, Paul, you're on the radio. I mean, you have your shows, but I mean, those some of these guys we're kind of a niche.
That was
kind
as
of a big
many.
deal.
That was as many Patriots fans at a road game that I've maybe seen since I started working
Wait
for the
till
team.
Tampa.
I mean, we were coming to get on the bus after the game, and it was loud. Like there had to have been hundreds at least of fans, like on the other side of the fences,
Good
chanting
turnout.
and screaming.
Good
and,
turnout. All right, that's going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered. We've got Catch 22 tomorrow at 10.
Yes, correct.
You and Barth live.
Yes.
Pants off or pants on?
I hope the pants stay on.
Okay, well, you're behind the desk. No one would know.
Yeah, that's true. We
You
can
know,
wear
We got to
shorts.
wrap that up a
Nobody would
little
know.
earlier. Fred's not happy waiting.
Well,
to
they
get
are.
into the
They're
studio.
wrapping it up
we've been
early
better
now.
about that.
Get on it.
We sent out a memo.
Yeah, they did. They sure did.
Strongly worded.
All right.
White
All
Star.
right. Thanks for listening today. I know we only got to a fraction of the emails, but appreciate all of them. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.